You are listening to the Decision Reel.
Welcome to the Decision Reel movie review podcast.
Was a weird way to
The
say that.
Decision. Welcome to the Decision Reel
Thank you.
movie review podcast. Is that better?
Yeah.
Much better?
Sure.
Much gooder.
Where the reels always fall off. I'm your host, Steve. With me this week, we have Randy and Tara. We're looking at the movie as picked by Randy, which is what?
The Proposal.
The Proposal, which apparently is my mom's favorite movie. She's
No, it's
proposing
not.
something to you. I don't.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, Kirk.
Yes.
I mean, he's not doing it, so
Okay.
Somebody's got
Somebody
to. Somebody's got to. Might as well be Randy. He's right here.
he's right here. He likes Friends. We'll be fine.
Yeah, we got this.
He's younger.
Yeah,
I can boss him around.
We just got two things in common. That's right. We like Friends. We can make this happen.
We like Friends. We like Ryan Reynolds. It's fine.
Look, they
Well, two
did,
things.
they
Look,
did
it's
90
growing.
Day Fiance or whatever the fuck that movie show was.
That fuck movie show.
That fuck
Yeah.
movie
You know what
show.
I'm talking about?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yes.
talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
Yeah, they did that.
And some
That'll
of
work
those
out.
people worked out. Most of them did not.
Some of them did, some of them
Well,
did not.
Yeah,
no.
well, 90 days, so.
Ipso
that's why.
facto.
Not
It's
gonna work.
so-
Right. Anyways, this week our drink of choice is the Arnold Palmer, the spiked Arnie Palmers. They're very good if you want to go out on a golf trip or
White water rafting trip
a nice brisk walk
through the neighborhood.
through the neighborhood,
Yes.
as we did before you showed up.
Aw, cute.
Yeah.
Did you hold hands?
I walked my dog, so I was
held
holding
my
his,
bladder.
he
That's
held
what I
his
did.
bladder, among other things.
Why
But
didn't
yes,
you pee
close.
before you walked?
I did.
it just happened. It just
You and Sean both have just like the smallest bladders.
smallest bladder. Anyways, yes, we're looking at the movie The Proposal.
Mm.
I mean,
Just two beautiful people, though.
So,
good old Sandy.
I'm going to put it out there now.
He's gonna put it out there.
I think I'm over my whole not liking Sandra.
Oh.
Oh, thank goodness.
It finally,
Finally,
okay.
it took a couple movies to get back into it. I didn't hate her for a while, but then I watched Gravity, and that's why I started hating her because she played her character too well, which made me not like
but
her.
that was a good thing.
I
You
know,
what
but I
mean?
still
Like-
didn't like her because of it.
So
Well,
because of one movie, you didn't like
Yeah, she's a
anything.
was
whiny
that the
little bitch.
first movie that you watched that had Sandy in it that you were aware of Sandra Bullock?
I feel like can't possibly, really.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, like, if he watched a movie and he didn't know that Sandra Bullock was a huge movie star, because, again, we're talking to Randy, who's never seen anything, right? So he watches,
So he's watching and he's like, who's George Clooney in this
sure.
chick?
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, it's Sandra. Oh, that's Sandra
That's
Bullock.
Sandra
No, I knew who she was
I don't
before.
like- I
I
don't
knew
like
who
her.
she was before, but just the movie threw me off. But now she's kind of hot.
And we've made you watch her in a couple things now. Miss
Yeah, so
Congeniality,
it's like it's getting me back into
Practical
being
Magic.
okay with
Right.
her.
So
Yeah, and those two movies, I think, are
those are good.
top tier
Yeah.
movies for Sandy, and I think this movie, too,
Up there too.
definitely
sure.
up there. She's she's had a couple movies,
Which
obviously.
I feel like everyone does.
Speed 2, let's be real. A
Yeah.
fucking boat is out of control. Sure, whatever. But
The
Speed,
Lake House. Was
Speed
a little
1.
like-
Lake House wasn't.
It wasn't, but it's definitely mid range of her like
Mid.
catalog.
I'll agree with that. She
Yeah.
wasn't, how would I say,
What was the one that
making
was it?
waves.
Ryan Gosling
Gosling?
that she was in? Was it?
She was.
No, that wasn't her.
Well, she's in a movie with Ryan Gosling because there's actually a fun fact.
But it wasn't Drive,
on
was it? Was it?
IMDb, no, it wasn't Drive. On IMDb, there's a fun fact of she's been in 3 movies with 3 different Ryans, and one's Reynolds, Gosling. I don't know who the other Ryan was.
Not important.
It's not
Clearly-
important.
clearly
Sorry,
not,
guy.
yeah.
Clearly. Hey, before the reels do fall off, check us out on our social media pages, which are at The Decision Reel, which YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
I didn't like that order, but okay.
Well, how was you do your
Oh,
order.
the blind
fine.
side. That's
Blind
so
Side.
The
good.
Blind Side,
That's
yeah,
so
that was
good.
the
Blind
one.
Side. She won some stuff for
Great.
that.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube.
There you go.
Yeah,
I
the
went YouTube
at
first.
the beginning was
Okay.
a little weird.
You're right, because
Yeah.
Y is at the end of all that.
2 weeks notice. Premonition.
I go in alphabetical order.
Sure.
That's what I do.
Sure, but you can find us there at The Decision Reel. Give us a like, give us a comment, do something. Also, you can go on our website, which is www.thedecisionreel.com. If you want to help us out in any way or support us, you can find our merch tab and buy some t-shirts, some hats, some leggings, Still waiting for Randy to put the Spanx on. It might happen soon.
Oh my God,
Nobody
Divine
wants
Secrets
that.
of Yaya says
She's been in.
she's
a
got
lot.
quite a catalog.
She's
Like
got
she
range.
really does.
She's got range for sure. Anyways, Real 10 to get 10% off that merch purchase that I know you're gonna make.
Real
10. REEL 10. Boom. Back to the movie at hand. The plot. A pushy boss forces her young assistant to marry her in order to keep her visa status in the U.S. and avoid deportation to Canada.
To Canada.
Well,
Just
look,
funny.
I'm just going to say it off the top. Y'all know I'm from Canada, and I've moved here.
Yep. How you here, buddy? How'd you get here?
How'd I get
Are
here?
you legally allowed here?
I am
How are you
legally
staying here?
I am legally here now. I'm actually a United States citizen as of 2 years.
Did you have to take the testy and everything?
I had to take the test. I want a quick story.
Yeah.
My parents
wanna hear it.
made me study
Made you.
my ass off for that test, which, okay, no, that's fine. You don't want to fail that test, obviously, right?
Did you learn a lot more than you had to?
I might be going there. What I'm saying is they give you this book that has about 100, it was either 100 or 150 questions that could be asked on the test, right? You had, I believe, 5 questions, and you have to get more than 50% right to pass, okay?
Wait, so they gave you a book with 100 to 150 questions
only
if possible,
5
and there were only
questions.
5 that they ask you
Correct.
to be an American citizen. 5 questions.
It was 5 or 10. I don't remember.
Still 10 also seems light though
Get
in
fucked.
comparison.
I want to say it was 5. I want to say it was 5. So I'm studying my ass off. We go for the test. You know, get picked, come in the room, whatever, sit down. How you doing? You know, whatever. Why are you here? Why do you want to become an American citizen? All you know.
Did you all do it
whatever.
together?
You can't. It's all separate.
But I mean, did you all go
We had
together?
yeah, we had the same scheduled date.
Yeah.
and we made that on purpose.
So you all did it
because-
the same day? Or
Correct.
whatever.
Because
Yeah,
why?
yeah. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Why wouldn't?
Well,
we?
I didn't know if they had already done it. Is what I'm saying. Like I didn't know if if they had already done it and you were
So
behind.
full story.
Like-
I have a brother who is older than me by
Yeah.
3 years. When we moved to this country, my dad was on a visa, a work visa, and we were all his dependents. My mom has her own sort of business that she runs as a quilting thing, whatever. That wasn't an actual job, right? So she didn't need documentation to have a job, right? So
It's okay, Cindy. It's a job.
no, it is, right? But so
Just kidding.
I couldn't actually have a job until I turned 18 here. But you're not going to get a job if you don't have experience when you're 18 here, right? So obviously,
It's like bar back. Or
I had
like
jobs.
Busser.
Exactly. I was a busboy at a French restaurant. Ooh, look at that,
A
right?
French restaurant.
I would be.
What
Right, yeah.
fucking French restaurant?
I was in Leonardtown. It was called the Café des Artistes, which is now being taken over
Oh,
by
yeah.
Social, right? On the corner there.
The new, where they're moving,
Correct.
right? Because
Right.
they haven't moved yet.
Right.
Yeah.
So that used to be Café des Artistes. I worked there for 3 years, busboy / server, depending on whatnot. Obviously, it was under
So
the
till you
table.
were 21.
Well, no, I didn't start at 18. What I'm
Oh.
saying is I couldn't legally get a job.
Uh,
Get a job until I was 18. But in high school, I was working there. And then I don't remember when I stopped, but I definitely got fired. That's another story for another time. But I was getting paid under the table, you know, and that was fine. They were helping me out. It's fine. At this point, that business has been let go of, and I'm an American citizen, so what are you going to do?
So fuck them.
Right. So, anyways, it was hard doing all that. But my brother, who was 3 years older than me, he phased out of our visa before I would have, right?
Because he was older.
Because he was older. So he had to actually, to have a job, become an American citizen before me. I don't know why that's moving now. There's a if you follow it down, there's a tightening thing you can do.
Why all of a sudden did it start doing that?
I don't know. Well, no, yeah, you fixed
There
it.
you go.
It's the weight. No, her microphone just didn't like her and wanted to move away. Oh, you're back.
It's fine.
Anyways,
Just-
so before me, my dad, and my mom had to be up for our renewal, because every 9 years you need to renew your green card, basically. So, cool, you guys are listening to the story.
I am.
Every 9 years we had to renew our green card. Well, when my brother came to renew his, he was too old to be under the certain visa requirements that we were, because he was no longer a dependent of my father.
So it was different. It was like separate.
Right. So he had to either get a real job and become an American citizen or get a fuck out, right? So he ended up having the job that he had at that point sponsored him to become an American citizen. So that's how that worked.
So he's still here.
Ipso
All
facto, he's American.
Ipso facto, he's American, right? That's why in this movie it doesn't really make much sense to me because she has a job. Besides her saying that she wasn't, I guess the
Yes, I was
she
gonna
was.
ask if you knew more about that.
Well, yeah. So the thing to me is,
So she left when she wasn't supposed to, or something, because it was under review.
well, I don't know if it was under
something like
review.
that?
I think her visa was up and she didn't renew it, and because she was so busy and so important to everybody, she just kept, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Somebody will get to it, and I think that might be the sticking point. Was she just didn't renew it, so it expired.
But not only that, they said he said, remember when you were gonna go to wherever, but we told you because of your visa you couldn't go wherever. And
Something,
then she
yeah.
was, and he said, but remember when you still went to? And she was like, well, yeah, because I had to.
Right.
And he was like, well, now they're not going to renew your visa.
So yeah, so if you're
because you went.
right, so if your visa has restrictions to it and
Mm-hmm.
it says you can't go here, like let's say you can't go to Mexico or you can't go to Puerto Rico, whatever. If you do that and they know that, when it comes time for you to renew your visa, they might say, "Well, you went here." So
Well, hers was just
sorry.
you couldn't leave the state.
It was another state. Yeah, it wasn't
Okay,
even
well,
like a.
Well,
country.
so yeah, so well,
But I
Puerto
think
Rico
it was
is
because
another
he
state.
said, well, no, but I mean, it was like
It's a territory.
a few states
You're right.
over or
I-
something.
I
I
don't-
don't
I'm
even
not
think it was.
American.
I
I
don't
don't
even
know.
think it was across the country. I don't remember.
Well,
where
so
they said,
depending
but-
on which type of visa you
Ohio.
have, right? If you have a work visa, i.e., you have to work at this place, and the minute you are fired from that place, bye.
right.
You
Oh, you don't even have a grace period.
well, yeah, obviously
Oh.
there's a grace period, but if the
Robin
whole
had a grace period.
you're right, but the whole idea is you're not in America to find work. You're in America for this job.
That job.
The
yeah.
minute that job is no longer required, you're gone, right? It's funny. Everybody's so worried about the border wall and keeping illegals out. The actual highest rate of people who are illegal in this country are people who have overstayed their work visa. So in reality, if you're building a wall, you're keeping people in.
whose
Sorry, just one
visas
sec.
will expire.
Exactly. Just want to say that
Possibly.
they're right there. Anyways, so me and my parents, because my brother went and got his citizenship way before we did.
Mhm.
We kept just renewing because it was easier to renew. And then at one point, my dad was like, well, we kind of looked at it, and if we're going to be here, why don't we just become American citizens? I mean,
Yeah,
it
because
makes
you had been
sense.
here for years at that point.
Right.
So.
So it made sense. And for me, too, it would make sense so I can, I was working, but to actually become whatever, and whatever is fine. So this was, again, 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years. It was
Wow, that
before
was
COVID.
recent,
Yeah, it
though.
was before COVID. And
So three
Trump-
years ago.
yeah, Trump was president. I remember because we had to sit and watch the video of Trump like, "Hey, welcome to." Sorry.
Oh my
It's-
God! Does
it's
every
so good.
president every president make one for like the new citizens?
Yeah, but it was hilarious
Ah.
because his was literally he would say like 4 words and it would cut to a different camera angle, so you could tell he didn't get it in one take
Well, he
at
doesn't.
all. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So they had to piece it together. This whole fucking it was kind of funny. Anyways, so yeah, we go there. I
He's
sit
in
down.
there laughing, and they're like, "No, get out. You can't be."
You're
Yeah,
done.
the other person in the
You're done,
back's like,
son.
"Sit
You're
back down.
done."
Sit back down. This is funny. It's fine."
Don't miss it. Don't miss this.
Right. So again, I studied my ass off for this test. There's some good questions in the booklet, like like who.
Were they like hard?
There were some that I was like, I didn't know that, and I
Do you
again I
remember any
went.
of them?
I remember the questions I was asked. I'll get to that in a second, but I
Okay.
do
Yeah, I
know
wanna see
some
if
of
I know.
them was like, Jesus Christ. Some of them was like, like in the War of 1812, obviously, what was the cause of that, or who was the founding father? Who was the founding fathers of America? Who's on Mount Rushmore? Who wrote the Declaration of Independence?
Can I still be here?
But
Yeah,
you were born here, so you don't need to know
Yeah,
these
okay,
answers, right?
shit.
Isn't that funny though? That like most people who were born here probably don't know majority of those answers.
If you came right out of high school, you would pass the test, right?
because like it
because-
was fresh on your
Yeah.
brain.
Exactly. Most of those questions to me were high school, like
Well,
civics.
It's
or
like that.
World history.
Are you smarter than a fifth grader show? Sometimes I'm watching and I'm like, there's no way
There's
I
no
knew
a
this
fucking
in fifth
grader knew
grade.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
But then maybe we did, and like it was just like whew, like you kind of out in one
Also,
year out the other,
curriculums
like-
change too over time. So
It was crazy. Have you ever watched that show? Like you have to
have.
pick like third grade math or third grade history or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I know I didn't know that in third grade, maybe fifth grade, but
they're doing trigonometry in fifth
yeah,
grade.
what the fuck?
Yeah. So, anyways, again, I studied my ass off, and I like to be prepared for things like that too, because like it's one of those things of it costs money to do it. And my
Yeah.
dad said, I will help you out with the first one. If you fucking fail,
It's on you for the next one.
good luck, buddy, right? So don't want to let my parents down. Don't want to let my
America
family
down.
America
Oh,
down,
sorry.
you know, the Eagles down, right? So we go in there, and I'm, of course, the first one picked to go in and take the
Philadelphia
test. Sure. And I sit down, and this lady, really nice lady, she asked me, you know, all these things about why do you want to be an American citizen? How long have you been here? And again, I moved here in 2000. So this was 3 years ago, let's say 3-4 years ago. So I've been here for a long time. You know what I mean?
Almost 20, almost 20 years.
I went through middle school, high school, college in America. I should know these answers.
Sure.
Right? So she goes, okay, I'm going to go through your information, make sure this is right. You know, like what's your name? What's your address? Are you married? You know, all this stuff. And then
And you
she
were
says-
married.
I was. We'll get to that in a second here about this movie. And then she goes, okay, I'm going to ask you 5 questions. You need to get more than 50% right, and you
So
become an American
that's-
citizen,
So
right?
2.5.
2.5 questions.
Cool.
You know what? It might have been 10. Now that I'm
So
thinking
like
about
5 questions.
it.
Maybe that's where
8.
you're getting 5 from, that you
Maybe,
needed to get
maybe,
5
maybe,
right.
something like that. So, anyways, she asked me the first question, and she goes, "These are going to be random." Actually, she doesn't ask. It's a pad, like an iPad that's just random questions that pop up.
Kind of nervous.
She goes, "Who is the current president of the United States?" At the time, obviously, I could say it was Donald Trump, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Randy, different, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you need to write that down.
No,
I think
I got that
like
one. We're good.
I hope
I
that you
got
know
that
the
one,
answer
yeah.
to that question.
It's 8 questions. The reason why I know this is if you get 4 right, you're done.
So they don't even
Nice.
ask you.
Correct.
You don't even have to. Wow. So like,
So
Wow.
the next question, I believe, was who's the founding father of the United States?
so you have 8 opportunities, but you only need 4.
Something like that, because I remember I got
You
to
didn't
4.
ask.
I'm
You,
overthinking
you
this.
remember not having to do all of them.
I got to 4 and I said, keep going. I put the work in for this. I want to get
Are they-
every
so you-
goddamn question
I didn't.
right.
So you can do that. Now, what if you had gotten them wrong?
So it doesn't matter, right? Because
'Cause you've already gotten
passed,
it,
right?
yeah.
But she's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Hell yeah!" I
studied
I
that.
studied my ass off. I was outside in the fucking car an hour before my.
We've
my-
given you all this time to think.
I was outside in the car for an hour and a half reading that goddamn book front to back. You bet your ass I want all
I know
these
the
questions.
First president. Does that count?
It might. Is he the founding
I
father?
don't fucking know.
of
He's
America?
not. No, is he?
One of them?
I mean, he's probably one of them.
Why don't you just say what you think?
Just
about
write
it?
down whatever you
Oh,
think.
I'm just-
Why are you writing it down? It takes longer.
I know, right? Was it Washington? George Washington?
yeah, that one.
Yeah, that would be the founding
Yeah,
father, one of them.
How? We were America before him.
No, we were not.
When was he president?
He was the first president.
Yeah,
How do you
exactly.
become the
When-
first president
but
if you're not the
America,
founding father of?
1775 was America.
Okay,
Yeah. When was
Okay.
he president?
probably.
was not that
Sounds like
long ago.
70.
If
There's
he's
no way.
Okay, what were the other
I am
questions?
dumb.
No. What were the other questions?
one was when was the Declaration of Independence written?
Mhm.
I can't tell you that off the top of my head now, but I know I got it. There was a couple
Obviously.
other questions like
See, he wasn't president until 1998 or 1784, 89. Fuck me. 1789.
okay.
So this was after. America was America.
No.
Yes.
Are you talking about when America was discovered? Because that's
No.
different.
Yeah, it's completely different.
No.
Okay, the first president of the United States was George Washington.
Mhm.
He is the founding father
1789.
of America. You don't have America without
You
him.
can have
We
a
had-
founding
we had a
father.
Marine Corps before he was president.
That doesn't mean that you had a country that was
It was
well
the United
established.
States
You
Marine
still
Corps.
had to defend yourself.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
You can also
Next
be a
question.
founding father, and then they decided, you know
Next
what, we should have a president.
I'm already going back
like,
to Canada. What's the next question?
It was when was the Declaration of Independence written?
Fuck if I know.
You've seen National Treasure? Come on, bro.
Fuck if I know.
When do we celebrate our independence?
July 4th.
There you go. That was a question.
That was a question?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Oh, okay. I got
Also,
that.
another
Cool.
question was,
3 for 4.
what is the main language used
up.
in America?
English?
Well, you got to think, though.
I mean, I guess, but like that
know.
seems, some of those seem so odd. Some of them, obviously not. Like,
Trust me.
if you have not been living here and this is like your first year in the country, if even a year, you're not going to know without studying when the Declaration was signed and stuff like that.
I was mad. Like I felt not disrespected, but
like
like
cheated.
yeah, like that's it. I took so much time out of my life to learn this, and you're just gonna be like, yeah, who's president right now? Okay, good, you're in. Cool, bro.
So why didn't you do a
Well, to
dual
be-
citizenship?
So the reason why I could not do a dual citizenship is because I've never lived in Canada where I paid taxes because I was not.
Oh, so
old
you
enough,
have to be. I see.
right. So
I see.
and also,
Okay.
even my dad didn't do it because he has no reason
To have it because
right?
he's never there. Well,
Well, yeah, they go back and visit, but he doesn't own land. He doesn't do business
no,
there,
but if
right?
you still wanted to be
Well, so
Canadian,
if we wanted to, we could move back and in however long it would take to do the paperwork, become Canadian again, right? We would just denounce America as our
so you
country.
can go back and forth.
Yeah. Well,
How many
it would
times can you go
probably
back
be
and forth?
harder to come back to America and be like,
after
hey, I'm
you were
here.
like, "Fuck you guys,
Right. Can I be
fuck
American
you
again?
guys,
Right.
I'm going home."
But if we want to, and if I were to ever move back to Canada, I could just say, hey, I now pronounce myself Canadian. I want to take back
I declare.
my citizenship. I declare.
I declare bankruptcy.
And we can
You
do
can't
that.
just declare it.
Are you sure?
I declare citizenship.
So we'll get to the other stories here later. But anyways, where to watch the proposal. You can watch it free on YouTube,
With
which is kind of
commercials.
cool with commercials. But if you have premium, you don't get commercials with that.
I feel like it was on a lot of things.
It's
was
also
on
to
almost
rent.
everything.
Yeah, Google, Amazon, Apple TV, Vudu, Redbox, Philo,
I watched it on something for free.
probably YouTube.
I don't know. No.
Hulu.
It was Hulu or HBO Max or one of those.
Okay, you got to have a premium subscription. I'm leaving
Oh,
those
do
off.
I have a premium subscription?
No, Hulu was just a normal subscription.
Was it?
Mhm.
I swear when
Why
I
did
looked, it
not
said
use
with.
Hulu? What a fucking idiot.
Maybe it just said with subscription.
I think it
Yeah.
said like with Showtime or something. I remember looking at it. Like I was scrolling by, I was like, man, I got YouTube
know.
Premium. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Money bags. Written by Peter Shirelli, Roberto Orci, and Alex Kurtzman.
Are either any of those people Canadian?
No. Directed by Ann Fletcher, who has also directed Step Up, 27 Dresses, and most recently, Hocus Pocus 2.
Quite a variety
A
there.
little bit when you think about it. She's also got other stuff, but those are like the most notable ones that I
Because
saw.
like
And I was
Step
oh,
Up
yeah,
is very different than
Very.
those other ones.
Yeah,
Like-
for sure. Almost
And then Hocus Pocus 2,
different.
which just came out. Like
right.
none of the other stuff, well, none of the ones you mentioned were recent. 27 Dresses is good.
Yeah.
I like that movie.
And I will say 27 Dresses in this movie feel like the same universe. Like just the way that's filmed and
well,
shot and
they are
acted.
rom-coms still.
Right. And they're around the same era too,
Mhm.
but they just feel sort of the same. I don't
Back
know if
when
that makes
people
sense.
thought Katherine Heigl was problematic, when really she just was honest about what she wanted.
Who's that?
Katherine Heigl, Ugly Truth, 27 Dresses, Grey's Anatomy.
Say the
Blonde.
one that he would know. Come on. Knocked Up
Oh yeah,
Grey's Anatomy.
or Grey's
The blonde?
Okay.
Izzy.
What's up?
Izzy
She was in
Stevens.
what, like
That's what's up.
4 seasons of that?
She was in at least 4 seasons of that.
And now it's what, 27
Like
seasons later?
Yeah.
18 or
27
something.
dresses later. What?
No, actually, a
Oh.
lot more than 18. Maybe it is 20.
They need to
something.
stop.
It's crazy
It
when
is.
you think.
When you get to like season 14, you're like, why are we
Right.
here?
Yeah.
Well, then you can look at like any daytime soap opera and be like, it's been on
Oh,
for
for sure.
35 fucking years.
For
How many
sure.
seasons
Those,
is that?
but those aren't even worth arguing about because they
True.
are gonna be on there forever.
The days of our lives.
These are.
My grandma
of Our
watches that constantly, and anytime I talk to her, I was like, "So what's going on Days of Our Lives?" She's like, "It's terrible, Steve."
My life too, Grandma. My
Right,
life too.
right. I was
the
like-
days of mine too.
Right. I was like, "Why are you watching it still?" Because she's like, "I got 4 fucking channels."
I think the only time I've seen any part of a soap opera is if I was in the waiting room of something
Oh, right,
during the day,
Yep.
or sometimes my grandma would have it on, like in our house. Like I'd come
Sure.
home from school and she'd like have it on.
My mom still watches them.
But I don't
Good
even
for your
think she
mom.
really watched it.
It's just background.
I
noise.
never caught her watching it. She would be like upstairs doing something or whatever, and it was on the
Right,
TV.
right. You need noise.
Like I don't know if she knew all the ins and outs of them, but maybe I could be like, "Hey,
Who murdered who
who's the?"
today?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe she knew that much. But
Oh, he slept with who? Fuck.
I'm going on. Sorry, I'm going on. So
It's
many,
fine.
like,
Rated PG-13 for sexual content, nudity, and language. Nudity, though, really? I mean, yeah, they show them side profiles. They show some butt a little bit.
They could have shown more
Of course.
They could have.
of Ryan, obviously.
I was going with Sandra.
I
She
don't
got
think
me.
so.
She
I
got
think
me
you
in
were
this
going
movie.
with Ryan.
All right.
She got me in this movie, man.
She got a little glow
She-
to her in this movie.
Yeah.
Look, you guys know my love for Ryan Reynolds. obviously.
Yeah,
You guys know the world's love
The world's.
for Ryan Reynolds.
Sure.
I think Sandy outlooked him in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think he looked great, but I think he's gotten better with age for sure. Like, I think as he got older, like the scruff and stuff like that, like he looked great. He's always looked great, but she looked just like she was like glowing. I feel like,
radiant.
yeah,
Yeah. I'll say
with her like high class ponytails and stuff.
this movie to me, I know it's not a Ryan Reynolds movie. This is a Sandy movie, right? Something about this, and I'm going to get to it when we get to our final decisions and like the full review of this, but I feel like he could have been played by anybody in this movie. There's nothing Ryan Reynolds-y about him in this movie to me.
I get that a little bit. I mean, I think his quippy stuff is still him.
It's kind of there, but it's not like so much to where you're like, all right, yeah, that's Ryan.
I still don't think you could have put anybody there. Maybe it wasn't like whole ass Ryan Reynolds, but you couldn't have just put Ryan Gosling there.
You could have.
I don't think so.
I think so.
But the stuff that he does now, you say that's a reason you don't really like him that much. And you don't want to watch a lot of his movies because of what he does. So
No.
You saying
I'm not saying I don't
No, I
want
feel
to
like
watch
more
I feel
in
like I've
it.
never heard you say that.
No.
No,
What I
he
was
has.
saying was he's got a shtick now that he has to do, right? He's
People
not
want him for that.
exactly. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying that okay, do something a little bit different or don't always play into that. This movie, he's doing it. It's just toned down to the fact that it's not him.
It's not his entire personality in this
Right.
movie.
He's just blah to me in this role. He's not bad, right? But he's just there. There's nothing. He doesn't steal any scene from Sandy. Again, is he supposed to? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think he's playing what he was told
Maybe
to
he
play.
was supposed to like
right.
reel
So
it in some.
and that's why I think it's
Because he was
just
even
okay.
that kind of person in like Van Wilder and Just Friends and stuff. He had more of his Ryan,
right.
like, so it's not like he wasn't that and all of a sudden he turned into that after this movie.
No,
So
because
maybe he did have to like,
I think so.
look, we want you to play
But just
more
chill
of the
fuck out.
of the rom-com guy instead of the
Yeah.
I think it,
sarcastic like
yeah, I think it was Sandy's the draw here. You're just here to back her up, so you can be funny.
which he did. I mean, they fed off of each other. I'm actually upset they haven't done another one together.
The proposal too. Deep proposals. I don't know.
The wedding.
The way. Oh, yeah. Well, they tried to do a wedding here, and she fucked it up. She said, "Nah,
Yeah.
nah."
I'm just kidding. It's a
She
lie.
didn't want to get him in trouble.
It's a sham.
because she loved him. I do love that part where he's like,
Then just get married.
I'd like to marry you so that I can date you because I want to date you
That's
at the
good,
end.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I got to because you got to stay in this country somehow.
I do love that montage during the credits where he's like asking all of them all these questions,
Mm-hmm.
and Raul's like, "God bless America." Like,
I love how he's just a white kind of dude in the office too. Like even though he's mixed, whatever,
Mhm.
but he
I'm
just
just a
plays.
dude
He just
playing a
plays.
dude.
Yeah, the white dude.
well, he's the gay dude though in that.
But see, I like that because if you just watch that show and he didn't tell you that,
you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Very true. This movie is starring Ryan Reynolds as Andrew. Sorry, I put it second because it's billed
Andrew-
second, but I
Andrew.
went into it first.
Paxton.
Paxton, Sandy Bullock, or Sandra Bullock as Margaret. Mary Steenburgen is Grace. Craig T. Nelson, who is forever Coach to me, is Joe. Betty White is Grandma.
R.I.P.
Malin Ackerman
Yeah.
However
I
you
think
wanna
it's
say it.
I think it's
Ackerman.
accurate.
is Gertrude. And Oscar Nunez is Ramon.
I've never been a big fan of hers.
I am and I'm not at the same time.
Who?
Like Malin Ackerman.
Is it Malin
Gertrude?
or
No, Gertrude.
Malin?
I don't know. She's German, but also Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was born in Canada, I
Oh
believe.
my
or
god, another
originally-
Canadian.
Oh my god.
They put so many in this movie, and none of them are the ones that are getting deported.
That's funny, right? I think that might be the point. Yeah, no, it's funny. Like she was in Harold and Kumar, the first Harold and Kumar, obviously bit role, and you're like, all right, cool.
She was
whatever.
also in 27 Dresses.
She was in 27 Dresses.
She was her
She's
sister.
been in a lot of movies. The Heartbreak Kid, where you're like supposed to hate
Oh my
her.
god, with Ben Stiller.
Yeah, which is funny.
Would
she was
pees
in.
on him?
You're supposed to do that. She's got the fucking ring in the giantest bush ever.
He's like,
Hilarious.
no, everybody's watching.
What was that? The Watchmen she was in. That was supposed
Yeah.
to be huge, and then it
She has a
bombed,
movie.
but-
I just saw a trailer like yesterday or the day before of a movie that she's got coming out, and she hasn't like. She had, I guess, someone she was serious with, and like something happened, but she wanted a kid, and the guy that like it didn't work out with got married, had a baby, but he didn't want a baby when she was with him, so she's like, I just want a kid. So her friends decide, you don't need a husband. We'll just introduce some good, decent guys to you, and you just get their sperm essentially.
You just get their seed.
You just like, so the rest of the movie is about this party that they have.
It's a little fucked up.
At one of their houses, and they invite a couple single guys.
So wait,
and
they're
they
having
don't,
a
but
party.
they don't know. The single guys don't know. Like,
hold on,
What movie was that?
it hasn't come out yet. It's like coming. I just saw a
coming
trailer
soon.
for it.
Get it?
Coming soon.
I just saw a trailer for it, but yeah, that bald guy from Hot Tub Time Machine is in it.
Oh, Rob
too.
Corddry.
But he's not one of the single guys. He's
Shotgun
like, he's
to
her,
the dick.
He's her friend's husband.
Be great
in the
at
movie or something.
Gotcha. Fuck. It is my pick next week.
Okay.
Oh, Hot Tub Time Machine's good. If that's what you were thinking.
That is what I was thinking. But I don't know if we're doing
Great
Great White Buffalo. Have you seen Hot Tub Time Machine?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I have dated a lot of girls, hot ones. You have dated a lot of dudes, gay ones.
Are we raping? It's real. It's got freckles on it and shit. That's honestly.
They got like his scarf, and he's like, ah, it's real. It's all real.
That is honestly one of my favorite movies that have come out in a long time. Like, I can watch that whenever I want. I love every joke. I still laugh at it. Some people say it was the stupidest movie.
No, I do too.
It's
I
really
did.
good.
I haven't seen it in so long.
Honestly, what's his name? Craig.
Craig T. Robinson.
He is actually my least favorite in that movie.
I agree.
But in other stuff, I really like him. But in that movie, it felt like his musical performance and stuff like that. That was.
It's almost like it's some kind of Hot Tub Time Machine.
Looks
Sorry,
right at the camera.
I had to look in the camera. No, I love it. It's a good movie. It's been in my back pocket for a longest time with this podcast. We're already 107 episodes deep, and I don't know how I haven't pulled that one out yet. Maybe I'm saving it for a good rainy day. I don't know, but it is one of my favorites.
Is it supposed to rain next week?
It might. Who knows? Who knows? I got one that I have picked for next week that I really want to do and have wanted to do for a while because it will bring up some funny, I think, talkabouts.
Oh, good.
So
well, then stick with that one. We
I
can
think I
always do it
will.
another time. I changed mine last week.
you're right. You
Voices
did.
the Voices was not what I was gonna pick. Remember, I even texted you and I was like, I had weeks before my pick. I texted him and I was like, I have my pick. Do not let me change it. And what did I fucking do?
And you let her.
Changed
I
it.
changed it. Yeah, he
I mean,
did.
you do whatever you want to do over here. It don't matter to me. Runtime on the proposal. I keep wanting to say the rundown. I don't know why. 108 minutes.
That's a good one too.
Is this movie too long? to
No.
No.
I think it is.
What would you cut out? I ask you that every time you say something's too long because
I would cut
you
out.
have to have an idea, you know.
Okay, so I like the whole dog aspect, and I know it gives it to the fact that that's how they
Oh, and
nakedly went together. You don't need the dog in the movie. You don't need the
But that
eagle
whole
face chasing.
scene
it.
where she's
It's
the
funny,
eagle.
but you don't need it. You know what I mean?
I love when he pats her on the butt after.
Yeah, I mean the strip club scene, while it's funny, you don't need that.
That's true. You know what? I'm with you on that one. I feel
Yeah.
like they could have come up with something else there, or they could have shortened it.
right. It was
Like, what was the point of her having the conversation with his ex outside? It didn't lead to anything.
I mean, it leads to the end where she comes in to talk to Ryan when she leaves.
But again,
right?
why
He's
did
like,
that
"Hey."
need to happen?
It-
They clearly
didn't.
weren't exes that still had feelings for each other. I think that's what they were trying to give you, but that didn't land.
Right. It wasn't like
It's not like he saw her and was like, "Oh my god."
Right. What did
I
we do?
haven't
We
seen you
fucked
in
up.
so long. Yeah.
Yeah, and there might have been stuff left on the cutting room floor of that. You know, I mean, that's why
Which
she
then
was
they
there.
should have then taken care of the rest of it.
Right. So that's
Should've taken it.
they could have.
So it could have been longer, is what you're saying.
Could have been. Most movies are. Let's be real. They get edited the shit out of. To be like,
I don't think she was needed in the movie at all.
You know what? When you think about it, I don't. I think you're
Why
right
was she there?
because it's a small town.
How would they know?
You're right. She could just been somebody walking in the background. She was no. Who was it? It was either her or somebody was cast in Thor: The Dark World, or not Dark World, the newest Thor movie. See, it was
Love
so
and Thunder.
Love and Thunder. It was The chick from Game of Thrones who was sleeping with her brother, Hedry.
Lena?
Lena Hedry. Hedry, is that it?
I don't know. I know her first name is Lena.
Something like that. But she got cast in that movie. Did you see her? No. They actually sued her. Somebody sued her for not showing up in that movie. And she's like, it wasn't my fault. It's wild.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Why would some
I
random
think
person?
No, her production company or something, because they got her the job and she's not in it, so they don't get residuals or something. It's wild.
So when you get cut from a movie, do you still get your paycheck though?
I'm gonna assume
Because you did the work.
I'd
Right.
hope so.
Yeah,
So that's kind of funny. Like you still paid, but then they were like, "Well,
I would say it depends
it's
on
not
your,
necessary."
it depends on your contract, right? So if I'm
Because here's the thing: you're not being paid for
the movie,
you're being paid for the work that you did.
correct.
So
And that's what I'm saying when it comes down to contract, right? Robert Downey Jr. put in his contract that he was getting a percentage of the movie, the box office of the movie. Not I'm getting paid for my job. Give me $2 million, I'll be in the movie. So did it work out better for him? Obviously,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
did he get paid the entire time he was working? No. So
But
again,
he
it
didn't
all
need
depends.
to, so he was fine.
Well, you never know.
yeah, I think it depends
Yeah.
on. I mean, where you are in
He
your
did have a-
career,
He did have a
definitely.
cocaine problem for a while.
Well, and look at Nicolas Cage.
Not
Why do you
then,
think he's
though.
taking
Not
all
then.
these crazy movies? Because he's got a spending problem.
Well,
it
and
seems
he's
like.
got like 7 ex-wives.
Right. So you got to keep that ball rolling.
Think about the alimony. Do you think he's paying alimony to all those ex-wives? Because
Yeah.
some of them he wasn't married to for very long. I don't
Don't
know
matter.
if there's like a.
Unless you got a prenup, right? And he's putting it down and going, hey, look, we're going to be married, but you can get
Well, because
shit.
it also depends on their lifestyle. Like if they're not
Very true.
hurting, usually you don't like you can get away with not paying alimony.
Correct, yeah.
And if they don't have kids, then there's not a child support.
Then, yeah,
situation.
you on your own.
Yeah.
You came in on your own, you're leaving.
Although
on
he
your
is on, like I said, what I looked up last time, his 5th wife.
own. Something,
Yeah.
7th or something.
Something
Whatever.
like
It
that.
doesn't matter. Release date, June 19th, 2009.
It's my ex's birthday.
Oh, yeah, that is 3 days after my birthday.
It's my first serious boyfriend.
Mm.
What a good Tara's fun facts. We're gonna put that on a note. We're gonna just fold that up and toss it because we're
To
never
the
gonna talk
side.
about that. We're never gonna talk about that one
I
again.
can't get like dates out of my head, so like stuff like that.
Whatever. Box office that week. The top 10.
Dun, dun, dun.
Number 10. Terminator. I went in with such buildup and I just wrecked it. It was Terminator. Do you want to show her the picture I sent you the other day?
Let's look. What did you send me? 'Cause- this was yesterday.
Oh, it was yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
That is documentation.
Can I read it?
Read it. Read it out loud for the class.
So it's a piece of paper.
Yes. This is from Department of Student Services, St. Teresa School.
St.
What is
Therese.
what is that?
That is the school I
That
went
says
to.
Teresa. You
It was Therese.
Well,
It's French.
In Canada?
well, this is
Yes.
America. So
This was grade 1, maybe. So.
Oh, so you just found this.
this is this is from the resource teacher. Stephen is receiving remedial assistance this year. He needs to improve his articulation and pronouncing basic vocabulary words. Stephen needs to be told to move his lips when speaking. He tends to mumble, which causes his speech to become mispronounced and difficult to understand. Stephen needs to be corrected spontaneously when speaking incorrectly.
Okay, now Stephen, you read that.
Stephen don't know because Stephen has not learned to pronunciate his words.
Pronunciate.
So,
Yeah.
I've told him
Ipso
numerous
facto.
times.
Steve's got dumb.
I've told him numerous times on here that I have a speech impediment, and he has not believed me. That is documentation.
You had.
I tried to work through it by taking remedial classes, and it didn't work.
I probably should too, because I was trying to say the word regularly the other day.
Yeah,
And I
no.
was like, oh my God.
So you guys are gonna laugh because you're gonna be like, duh.
Okay.
Years ago, I went to a second opinion doctor to look at my throat back when I was worried about my nodules and stuff.
Sure.
It was-
nodules.
It was after I had them, but I had done a follow up to make sure they were gone. And then someone else suggested, why don't you go to another doctor just to make sure? And I was
Make
like,
sure.
okay,
Give me
whatever.
a make sure.
So I go and he said the same thing. He was like, I don't see anything, but I think that you could benefit from what's it called? A speech
Therapist.
sure. I was going to say pathologist. Is that
Speech pathologist.
not right?
Sounds
a
better.
speech therapist. But he
Sounds
said it's
bougie.
because I don't take enough breath when I'm talking.
Clearly, you didn't go to that, did you?
Yeah, I agree with that
But
guy.
he was saying that he thought it would help, like if I got my breathing under control. And I was like, I don't do this when I sing. Like I know when
So
to
I'm
take breath
fine.
when I'm singing.
You need to shut your fucking mouth because you don't know me.
But it is the reason I went was just because of my singing. So I was like, if it's not going to benefit me there, then I'm fine.
What you drinking?
Tea,
That's it?
What kind of tea?
regular tea.
No
Pure
specialties.
leaf, pure leaf,
Pure leaf tea,
pure leaf sweet tea.
but not out of the bottle. You got to do fancy out of your. What does that say?
Because there's ice in here.
What does it say? Coos?
Cootie.
Cootie. She got her cootie.
We'll get through these.
This was a pack of 4.
Oh yeah. What was the other colors? Green, silver, and black.
No. Yellow, which I liked because you don't usually see yellow
Very true.
tumblers. Yellow, and then it's like a teal color, like a Tiffany's like blue type of teal, and then a blue that was like my car, like identical type of.
So a
blue like
robin's
that.
egg blue and a turquoise
and then this
Red.
and yellow.
yellow. Number 10. I'll try to pronunciate it while moving my lips.
Wait, what was it? What was it? Terminator what?
Terminator Salvation.
That was number 10.
That was number 10.
Okay.
That is actually a really good movie that I like because it was a different take on Terminator at that time. What are you clearing your nostrils for?
Blowing stuff out.
All right. I thought you were like, fucking idiot. That movie sucks.
Probably did.
Actually, no, it was pretty good. I liked it. It had Christian Bale in it.
Yeah, but you liked Total Recall. And
You
stuff
like
too.
all Arnie.
That does not
Arnie movies.
Arnold is only in this movie as a CGI character for a split second that does not matter.
Yeah, because it's not about him.
it's about the future war.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really good. Actually.
Like
Even I knew
fingernails
that.
match your shirt or your sweater.
Oh, look at
Continue,
that.
Steve.
Look
Sorry.
at that. Number 9. Imagine that.
Nope.
That is the only one in this top 10 that I don't even know about. Imagine that.
I feel like when I see it, I'm
You're
gonna.
gonna be like,
Imagine
fuck
that,
that.
Jack. Number 8.
Samuel L. Jackson's in it, and they couldn't call it the real name. Imagine that, motherfucker.
She's not looking it up.
I thought she was.
I am sorry. I had to
Yeah. Had to.
imagine that.
Imagine that, Jack. What is that from?
Oh, it's also
it's like-
it's also a place, which is what came up
Ooh.
when I searched it.
Imagine that. Sounds like a fun house for kids.
It is.
Maybe
Is
that's
it?
why you know what it is.
Is it really?
Oh, it was Eddie Murphy, where like the stuff his daughter would like draw and imagine like would come to life.
Never heard of that?
Nope. Never heard of her.
Imagine that I never heard of it.
The children's
What is
Museum
children's-
Center
yep.
in Virginia.
I'm good.
Yep, that's what it is. Yep.
Sounds like
Number
kinda weird.
8. Land of the Lost.
That movie.
Oh my
was
God, with
weird
Will
as fuck.
Ferrell.
Will Ferrell.
That was a weird movie.
It was a weird movie, but it was also funny. That's
It
one of
wasn't bad.
That's on the line though. Like that's one of those movies
Of
with when while
stupidity.
I'm watching it, I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah,
I'm just
like,
getting
what the
dumber
fuck?
as I watch
Like
it.
the
But
giant mosquito.
I hate
Like what the fuck?
I hate that monkey guy. He drives me fucking nuts through the whole movie. Sanchez or whatever they call him.
I
Oh, yeah,
watched
yeah,
the
yeah.
movie once, and that was
I
it. Like when it first
Hated
came out.
him, but what's his
on DVD.
face? Kenny Powers,
Yeah, I love Kenny.
Danny,
Powers.
whatever, McBride.
Danny
Yeah,
McBride.
yeah,
He was funny,
I
and I
will-
liked the girl. I feel like I haven't seen her in like anything else.
I don't even know who it was. I don't
but
even remember.
I liked her.
She liked her. Number 7. Star Trek
Never seen it.
with Chris Pine.
Never seen it.
With
Chris Pine.
fucking what's his face from The Boys is in it.
Boys are back home.
He was Judge Dredd and then
I don't know. I really. Who?
Number 6. Night at the Museum, Battle of the Smithsonian. So I can say that,
Is that the second one?
right? Yeah.
We've
Is
done
it?
this before because remember we were trying to figure out
Yeah,
what
because the first one's just Night at the Museum.
Night at the Museum.
And then Night at the Museum, Battle of the Smithsonian, and then the
I've done this
third
before.
one.
I've looked up the film
The
series.
third
before.
one is I can't believe they made 3
There's
of
a
those.
third one?
Yeah.
That's the one with Amelia Earhart.
Yeah,
Oh.
Battle of the Smithsonian is the second one. This one, Secret of the Tomb, that had Rami Malek in it more than
Rami
the,
Malek.
than the first one because remember he was the
Oh yeah, yeah. Eye of Ra.
I watched that movie, the Battle of the Smithsonian.
She couldn't say it. You just said
I
it.
know.
Good job.
Just, yeah. Like last month, only because I came across a clip of it that someone posted on Instagram and forgot how funny that part, and I watched the whole movie just to see that part at some point. And it's with the guy, the one who plays the bad mummy.
Mm.
And I can't remember his actual name, but he's funny in a lot of stuff that he's in.
You're talking
that movie. I remember it now.
You're talking the guy who's in The Simpsons who does like all the voices. He does Moe's voice.
Does he?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hank Azaria.
that sounds right. But he's in it, and he's like telling him not to cross the line or whatever. And he just keeps like being still, and he's like, oh my god, you just did it. I just said, and he gets so like worked up.
That is Hank Azaria.
And he's like, seriously,
I can
don't.
hear Mo in her voice as she's saying that voice.
But he was like, seriously, don't. And he would just like, oh my god.
Yeah, he does a lot of voices.
I watched the entire movie just to watch that part because it was so funny.
Nothing wrong with
You got to watch the build up.
He was funny. He's funny in that.
Number 5, The Taking of Pelham 123.
Denzel Washington?
Yep.
John Travolta?
Yep. It's okay.
I liked that. I mean, I like pretty much any Denzel Washington movie. To
I
be
like
fair,
Denzel. Yeah, he's a good one. Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
and I like John Travolta too, and he was a bad guy in that.
Yep.
Which he's played bad guys before,
Swordfish.
but I do feel like when I see him as a bad guy,
Watch it.
He's a different person. You know what I mean? Like
Because of that. And Halle Berry showing her boobies. Watch that. And Hugh Jackman.
Swordfish?
Yep.
yeah,
I feel like you told me to watch it
Oh,
before.
it's
I don't
Was
remember.
it because of the boobies.
It's a
Yeah, because of the
2000s terrible, amazing movie that has every trope from the 2000s in it. We're going to hack this thing, and he's just doing this. And then it's showing like this like stupid 3D rendering of like a block that's rotating and like opening up because he's like hacking it while getting a blowjob. It's wild.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah. Well, no.
Multitasking.
Well, it was crazy because the bad guy who was John Travolta, like, hey, I need you to crack this in under a minute. Guess what? You're going to die with a gun to your head if you don't crack it. Meanwhile, you're going to get a blowjob as you're doing it.
Distraction.
Distraction!
And he's like, oh, yes, you passed my test. Like, it's crazy. It's so stupid. But also really good. But
Good for
then so stupid. It's worth watching. How about that? There's movies. We're going to have new tiers. So stupid, don't watch it. Really stupid, but you need to watch it. And then it's so good. Why aren't you watching it?
Okay.
There's going to be another one in there. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll figure it out. I like it. Number 4, Year One.
It wasn't bad.
Jack
It was
Black.
alright.
Jack
It was
Black
alright, yeah.
and
Michael Cera.
Michael
Yeah.
Cera.
What's her face? Who's Keely in Ted Lasso? Little blonde girl.
Oh yeah,
I don't know her name.
I don't know her name either.
No idea.
Is it Olivia Wilde in that movie?
Is she? Yes,
Is it her?
I
think it is.
I think it is.
Wow.
The other guy's lady.
Right. Jack Black's.
I think it is.
Look at that. Top 3 that week in no particular order, and you guys have to guess what they are. The Proposal, obviously.
Duh.
Up. The Hangover.
Wow.
That's a big top 3.
Whoa.
Let's be real.
Okay, what are the weeks?
I'm not telling you.
What? I always ask that.
They're in the same area. I'm not going to tell you how many weeks out, but in the same.
To me, that means between 1 and 2.
Randy's going TP3 up to AO1. What is AO?
HO.
Oh, that's an H. Okay, HO. So he's going Hangover number 1, he's going up number 2, and The Proposal number 3. And Tara's going.
Don't worry, I fucking nailed it.
It would change things for me if I knew what week
They're
they were
all
on.
within 3 weeks of each other.
That
opening.
still would change
So
things for
it
me.
means one of them's 3 weeks,
I know.
one of them's 2.
But like for
Could be.
example, if Up is is one of the ones that's 3 weeks, I would probably put it at number 3. If Up is in its first week, I would probably put it number 1 or 2.
Well,
It's
you're
like
never
that.
gonna know, so you just gotta fucking guess.
I'm putting
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hangover number 1, Proposal number 2, Up number 3.
Okay. Okay.
It is number 3, Up. Number 2, The Hangover. Number 1, The Proposal.
Damn.
Wow. So The Hangover, what week was it in?
Its 3rd, and Up was in its 2nd.
That would have changed things for me.
Would it have though?
Yes, it would have.
Would it have though?
Yes.
Doubt it.
Would it have though?
All right.
Oh, TV and movie
It's
trivia
fucking
time.
TV time.
It's Randy's pick. He's
Why'd
got.
you make him do? Did he pick that card?
He said he was going to do it after this, and I was reminding him
Yeah.
because I know he forgets. But I forget long term. He forgets short term.
Yeah, and you don't have a drink, so I don't know what you're gonna do when you lose.
Maybe she won't.
Oh, which
Just- I
one?
just won't
Should I go
lose.
easy or hard?
Whatever you want to pick.
Just because
there,
they're hard
guy.
to you doesn't mean it's hard to us. Just
So if we lose, we got to drink
something.
the drink that we're drinking. We got to drink all of it. But obviously, Tara doesn't have anything. So
I mean, if you need me to finish my tea, I will.
How many Academy Awards did the Titanic win?
Why are you
Ooh.
only looking at me?
Because you said just because it's hard for me doesn't mean it's gonna be hard for you.
Well, that's still
So-
a true statement, but
How many Academy Awards
Awards.
did
I know it
Titanic
was a
win?
lot, right? Because it was a banger.
If it's on here, it's got to be a lot. You know what I mean?
I know it's double digits. This number feels right to me. If we both get it wrong, you read the next question. I'm going with that. 12.
12.
11.
Tara got that.
Oh, shit. At least we were close.
Yeah.
What was it? Just read the next question. Because there's two questions
I
per
feel like we
card.
should always do both. Just
Yeah,
for fun.
probably.
Which Netflix documentary series centered on Stephen Avery?
Oh, yeah, I got
Oh,
that. I mean, let's just say it out loud. You know it.
Oh,
it's the making of a murder.
Making a murder, yeah.
fucking know that one.
We were supposed to get a second of that.
Third of that. They already did a second.
Did I watch it?
Probably it was so it just did the same stuff
Maybe I
that it was
didn't.
bad.
Maybe I didn't watch it.
Oh, that's not bad. You don't have much left.
Did he like appeal and
That's
stuff
like me when I
already
have
and
nothing left.
everything?
I
I feel like I read some like it was in the news that he did, but
I don't remember that.
did you watch that?
No.
I don't now because
I remember being into
like
it
it's too
and
late.
like
I
everybody was
was-
into it. I don't think he killed that person.
I don't think he did either.
I think he might have killed.
Wait,
other
which one is
people.
that? Which one was that about? Was that the kid?
No, that was a girl who was taking photos of a car for like Auto Trader on this dude's lot. Just disappeared, and her car ended up being on his lot still. And he's got like this big like where you give cars when they're done.
Auction?
No, like
no,
where they
like
just gotta die.
like a yard like a
Yeah.
Trash car, trash.
shop yard, like a
What do you
oh
fucking
my god,
A,
oh my
a
god,
car dump,
it's a shop. It's a
It's a
not a chop shop, but
junkyard.
like
type of
junkyard. It's a junkyard.
situation.
oh, that's what you couldn't figure out.
Oh my
Okay, I
God.
thought there was
But chop
another
shop
word.
sounds right too.
No, chop shop is where they're just taking parts of cars and
Well,
Put it
maybe they
together
are though.
and-
They're
stealing
What did I
parts
call
and
it?
selling it. I don't know.
chop
A
yard.
lot.
I don't know.
You called it
a couple things.
Look, I was searching. We got there.
But yeah, through the whole thing, you're like back and like.
Well,
did
what
he
was the
do
one?
it?
With,
Did he
what was
not
the one
do
with
it?
the kid that they said had murdered his
Well, so the kid
brother
was-
or something?
No, the kid.
There was a kid in this as well who like assisted him.
He was
That's
like
what
Yeah,
they
that
high
called
one.
school. They were saying they kind of tricked him into saying that.
So
Right,
I
he was-
watched it for
Yeah,
I
he
did.
was definitely slow, and
I was-
they
yeah,
when they
yeah, yeah,
disposed him, like it was literally like putting words
because
in
he
his
kept
mouth.
saying, "Can I go home? Can I go home?" And they were
Yeah.
like, "You can go home if you tell us." Like
right. That
they
you
should have
did it.
gotten in crazy trouble for it. It shouldn't have been able to be used. Like he didn't even have a
Yeah.
parent present,
Mm-hmm.
and he was not 18.
Nope, and he didn't know why he was there.
He
Even
had
if he
no
did
idea.
it, even if he did it, he still shouldn't have been questioned that way.
I think it was the I said when I was watching, I think it was the dude that lived
It could have been.
down the because they interviewed him too. It was somebody's husband or ex-husband.
Well,
or
think
something
about
like
it too, right? I'm just gonna frame this guy. I'm gonna put his car here
know,
or
yeah.
the person's car there, and it's easy. But they also said we found the bullet fragments in the fucking garage and all this shit.
They also
and-
like they didn't find
burn
anything
pit.
in his house. Like it was
Oh, and then remember the cops found the keys after searching the house for like 2 days, and they randomly found them behind something, and they like dropped them there. Whatever.
Sure.
We could do a whole podcast episode on that because that was wild. There's one documentary that I really liked. It was called The Staircase. I don't know if you ever watched that. Where it was,
about the she was pushed down the stairs
But was she?
or whatever. But was she? Yeah.
right,
But
and
like
he was like a famous author.
yes.
That was really good. And then there was another one that was on Hulu that was made specifically for Hulu. There was like a 3-part episode exactly about that too.
Same thing.
Yeah, really good.
Did you watch the Lorraine Bobbitt documentary thing?
I did not.
Fake name.
Lorena Bobbitt.
It's not a fake name.
It's not.
Debatable.
I mean,
Budget time.
her husband's last name was also Bobbitt.
Budget time. Steve has also guessed these beforehand, but we're going to guess the budget. We're going to Randy first because he picked the movie.
Fuck me.
What do you think it costs to make the proposal?
Oh, no.
I also feel like that we have to talk about this movie because I feel like we didn't actually talk about it.
We'll get there.
They didn't go many places. 2009.
Were they really in Sitka?
No. They were in Boston.
Oh.
Were they really? They passed off Boston for Alaska?
They were in Massachusetts, bro.
Wow.
You see this water here is Boston. That was a bad Boston accent.
That was a bad
I'm just going to
Boston.
say 9 mil.
$9 million for Sandy and Ryan Reynolds in 2009.
That's like one of their salaries, I
Right.
feel
Well, it
like.
also had,
Definitely hers.
Had Coach in it.
yeah,
I fucking love Coach. Craig T. Nelson.
he's done a lot.
I went back and watched the show.
So-
It's actually really good. And Patrick from SpongeBob is his assistant coach. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that.
I'm
Little fun
gonna
fact.
say
Put that in your mouth. Chew it.
25.
25 million. That's exactly what I guessed as well.
Yeah. that's-
Actual retail price, $40 million.
Ooh.
Little higher than I thought. Obviously,
But both of them,
Clearly,
both of
for
their
me.
salaries especially at this time, are going to be decent.
I feel like
Betty White,
let's be real, Betty would probably like.
she'd probably do it for free.
Yeah,
Like,
like, oh, Sandy, let's go.
do I get to cuss? Got it.
Yeah.
Done.
I think even though they're shooting in a different place, I mean, and they don't go a lot. I mean, there's still some set pieces there. There's still some special effects.
They film
if you
out on the
want to.
boat.
Right? So it's not like they're not doing stuff. There
They
is a
film on-
bigger ensemble cast too. You know what I mean? It's not like it's just them. So I still think 40 million is a lot for this movie.
I still think it's a lot too. I think 25 made sense to me. I could justify that. Like even if, but I guess think about it. Like let's say Ryan and her both made 10. That's 20 right there.
You're right, and then that's 30 for the 30. What an
No,
idiot.
another
It's 40.
20.
Yeah, I'm an idiot.
20.
Maybe
To
I
pay
need another.
everyone else
I need another
to book
letter
whatever
from my teachers that I
scenes
wasn't
and
good at math.
places and stuff. So
Right, yeah.
crew,
And you got to
everything.
think too. Also, this includes marketing budget. That's
So
big.
I feel like yeah.
40. All
I mean,
right,
I
cool,
guess
whatever.
I guess you could justify it.
True. What do we think it made then overall in its box office? Randy, again,
53.
53 million. Sarah?
85.
85. I accidentally did not write down the opening weekend numbers, but what I guessed was 200 million.
Wow.
I remember this movie being huge.
I felt like I did too, but I didn't want to overshoot.
Yeah,
I
just
remember.
doubled the
that's a big one.
No, I remember everybody talking about this movie. I remember everybody going to see it. Everybody go, "Oh my god!"
So
did
what
you
is
see
it?
it? The overall box office, 317.4 million.
Whoa!
Why?
That's Marvel numbers, man.
Why didn't they make The Proposal too?
I mean, what would they have done?
Something happens
point of
where
this movie was
they
how
moved to
you-
Canada.
But
right?
you know what I mean? The point
I
of
know,
this
yeah,
movie
yeah.
was that it was the situation. So like I feel like you can't like what do you build off of that?
They have kids. Okay, one of them moves to
The
America.
baby
right?
maker blanket.
Sure, yeah, right. And one of them moves to Canada.
Not the
and
baby
they're-
maker. Not the baby maker.
They have
I
to
don't
become a Canadian.
Ryan Reynolds has to become Canadian. That's the tagline right
Yeah.
there. You make that movie. Like, hey, here you go. They got
Oh,
divorced,
okay.
right? Because they got divorced because if they move to Canada, obviously, if you want to go by the movie's logic, they're married, so it doesn't matter, right?
So they would have to be divorced.
They divorce and they haven't
She's
they
back
haven't
in
lived
Canada.
together.
If he
ba-
wants her back,
He's got to go to
he's got
Canada.
to go to Canada.
But he's there trying to find her, and he's like, it's been taking me forever to find her. I got to get a job now. He gets a job, and then it's like, well, no, hey, if you want to stay here, you got to be a citizen. And then, we bump into each other at the fucking supermarket down at the No Frills there, eh? And they're buying some fucking,
Is that a Canadian thing?
it is, some French fries and gravy for their poutine.
Oh my God.
And they're,
He doesn't run into her at a Tim Hortons.
maybe they go to a Tim Hortons to get their double doubles, and they don't fucking go in correctly. I don't know.
Just the way you even said double doubles sounded like it was foreign. Like,
It is.
like the way that you
Here-
said.
Here's the
like
problem.
how quick you said it and everything. Like,
Here's the problem.
double doubles.
My wife might be like, he's making this up, but she falls into it too, and she doesn't hear it. When we go and visit Canada, it comes back. My voice changes.
It's
It may take a day
you
or
fall
two.
right in. I mean, I feel like that makes sense.
Right, like we'll go and like I'll be hanging with my cousins and they'll be talking about like, oh fucking right there, bud, let's go for a rip. Like it just it comes and goes. It's
So
wild.
it's not even just the accent, but it's like the words that you use too. Like you're calling things
Yep.
differently.
Yep. Well, and also up there, some things are called different.
I
as
wish
well,
you still
so.
said
yeah.
shit like that more often.
I
That
mean, I
would
can
be
fake it.
Fucking
I
great.
can fake it. Let's
Do
be
you know
real.
sometimes I feel like if I watch a show for too long where
You
it's
get
like
into it.
it's like a UK show or something, I do feel like it's sometimes like you can't help it.
So subconsciously, this happened to me. Okay, I was recording at the studio in Waldorf. Do you know who Ron Vento is?
Yeah.
He has a way of speaking. Okay, if you've hung around with him for a little bit, you're like, this is weird. Whatever. We were in the
has a way
studio
of
for like a week and a half, but we were there like every day. I started talking like him because we would sit together and
EC
like
killer.
and figure out how the song would go or do this and
Yeah.
do that. At the end of that week and a half, I was talking just like him, and I had to be like, "Whoa, I need to stop." I can't remember what like the pattern was, but it was like not super bro-esque talk, but just like different. You know what I mean? And I remember my girlfriend at the time was like, "Hey, what's wrong with you?
You
You
stop.
need to chill the fuck
You
out.
shut
What's
up.
going on here?" And I was like, "Maybe I just got that personality." What?
I do the same thing at work.
You dated
Okay,
other
yeah.
people other than Tiffany?
I mean,
I
if we're,
feel like
if we're
that's
going on record,
impossible.
yeah. I did live a whole
Like,
other
as
life.
long as I've known you.
Well,
she's
so
been
I
there.
mean, well, I didn't know you before I started dating my wife.
That's
so-
what I'm saying. Like
right.
I feel
so
like
to you, yeah,
yeah,
I've
that's
just-
it.
Right.
I only know you with Tiffany.
But before her, yes, there was other people.
Sure.
Yeah, I went to a whole different high school in a whole different part of the county.
My boyfriend Carrick and I last night,
Good one.
yeah.
Yeah.
We were it was Valentine's Day.
Oh, you did
This
something.
wasn't no, not that. But like we were
That's what's up.
we were going to bed and we started talking about
What time?
what time did we go to bed?
Time to go to bed.
It was midnight. It was
Oh,
almost
so it was a
midnight.
good Valentine's Day for
Yeah,
you.
was
Good
almost
for you
midnight.
guys.
That's what's up.
It was almost
That's what's
midnight.
up.
But we I don't remember how it came up, but we were talking about if we weren't with each other, who do you think we would have like
Been with.
dated?
Right.
But I told him, I said, I've been with you for so long. There's no one in my life right now that I like
Can see,
that I
right?
can see my
Yeah.
like.
That's good.
But I started thinking like even back then, and I said I think even back then, if
I know
there
my
was
options. I
if
don't
there
like
was someone else that I wanted to date, I
would've done that,
would
right.
have dated them. So
Right.
I don't think. And he was like, he goes, yeah, I think I could come up with some.
And that's when you went, well, I'm going to bed. Fuck you.
No, but here's what I said. I said, no, you could come up with some that you'd fuck. You couldn't come up with some others that you'd date. And he was like, touche.
Yeah, you're right.
And I said, because same. Like, I mean,
same.
same. I could do that. I could walk into a bar in Southern Maryland and find someone that I would do that, but not that I would fucking date. If I ever become single again, I will probably never date again. That's just not a lifestyle I want to go back to,
I don't disagree.
especially in today's world.
Good luck, Randy.
Yeah, I'm not. Is what it
Yeah,
is. Sorry,
cool. Yeah.
but like the whole dating app world and stuff, like that's not a life I want to live in.
Yeah, it's funny. Like
so
I
don't.
right before the dating app thing blew up is when me and my wife got together. So I'm like, I'm so thankful.
I
Like,
never-
talking to
yeah.
friends who are like going through it and like matching and swiping left. I'm like, that's cool for you, but like, I don't want to deal with this.
That's-
dude.
That's what I'm
We
saying.
were
Fuck all
like
that
it was
nonsense.
never like I've seen my sister and like other friends and stuff use date, but when I started dating Carrick, the dating apps were not a thing. You had your internet dating like Match.com and shit like that, but not your Tinder and your Bumble and whatever the fuck else there are. What other ones are there, Randall?
I'm not on
Grinder.
'em.
He knows Grinder.
Grinder.
I'm not on them.
No, I remember like when I first me and my
Craigslist,
ex-girlfriend. Yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
Me and my
Found some
when
weird
my
things in there.
me and my girlfriend broke up. Obviously, my ex-girlfriend because I
Yes.
don't have one currently.
Right.
I remember like, man, this sucks. How am I going to find? Maybe I need to go on eHarmony
Yeah,
or
you have to go out in the world
Match.com
and
or how am I
meet
going to
people.
find people? Because like everybody I knew was dating other people or away at college and all this stuff. And I'm like, how the fuck do I network anymore? Like I don't do this. I don't go places.
When you're in school, it's so much like you're
Right.
around people all
You're
the
like,
time.
hey, you,
You're like,
what are you doing?
yeah.
Let's do something.
But
All right, yeah.
same principle though. If you were dating someone and you broke up, there probably wasn't immediately someone else that you would date because you probably would have already been dating them. If it was someone, you know what I mean? If it was someone that you wanted to date and that was already in your life,
Right.
you probably would have already had tried that or
Well,
had
so
thought
the,
about it.
The real funny thing is, I didn't really know Tiffany. She was friends with a friend of my ex-girlfriend, right?
And she met him on a bad night.
Oh, has she told you about that night? Or we talked about it
Yeah.
before? We have?
Yeah.
I feel like on here we've talked.
Maybe? Okay, whatever. I won't get into it. But
Okay.
It was not a good night for Steve.
funny. I had issues
He was
with a college
very
class.
angry
I was
person.
and you guys know me pretty well. I'm not an angry type person, like at least outwardly. You know what I mean? Like I'm not throwing shit or getting mad and like yelling at people. I might like have an offhanded comment like "Fucking this motherfucker," but I'm not going to
Just
yell
start
at
flicking
somebody,
people
right?
off from across the bar.
Right. But that night, if I was my wife at that point, I would have said, "This
wrote
dude
this
has
guy off.
yeah, like this dude has anger issues. This guy's fucking why I don't want anything to do with this guy." And
But
then
here we are. She just made
and-
us dinner tonight.
Well, yeah, right. Well, no, it was weird because like
Well, because she doesn't want him to get angry. You don't want Steve to
well,
get
yeah.
angry. So you gotta
Don't
gotta
give me
keep
a-
him
God
fed.
forbid.
the weirdest part about that was though, like looking back at it, in 3 months, I was living with this girl in a townhouse with all my stuff there, which is now in this basement still, which is hilarious. And in 3 months, I was out of there, living at my parents' house again, and dating a different person who thought I was a fucking lunatic 3 months prior. It's just weird how life
Yeah.
kind of works, right? So, say it for me.
Ipso facto.
Ipso facto. We're having dinner tonight.
I didn't know.
But like it made me
I didn't know it
think.
was ipso facto.
What did you think it was?
If so.
If
so
If
facto.
so facto.
Close enough.
I mean, I could. See
You want to know
that.
why I know that?
So.
I accidentally had subtitles on the first time I watched
Mm.
Dodgeball, and he was
Ha.
like, ipso facto. I was like, huh.
Hmm.
But that
Oh,
was
that's how that goes.
2003
Wow.
or whenever that was. Right.
But it made me think because, like in this movie, for example, like
Mm,
was it something he would ever have thought of
This movie.
before? You
Right.
know what I mean? Because
Right.
like he seemed to have
She's so
hated
hot in
her.
this movie.
She's so hot all the time. Like,
She got that
It's the
strong
authority.
chin. It's the authority.
It's the authority.
You're going to do what I'm telling you to
I
do, boy.
love this scene when he comes in to try to get her out of the meeting,
Mhm.
and she pulls him in, and she's like, "We
Right.
are getting married," and he's like, "We
We
are
getting married.
getting," and he's like, "No," and she's like, "It's something," and he goes, "Something." Like he's just like slowly processing
everything.
and saying random words that she is saying.
That's a little bit of Ryan Reynolds to me that he normally is, and I popped for that. You know, I was like, all right, that's funny.
I
This
also
and that.
think once they go to Alaska and he's got a little bit more of the upper hand on her because he's doing her this favor, he becomes a little bit more Ryan Reynolds because he's
I
doing
agree.
the, I would carry her bags, but she just insists on doing it herself. And like just the little things like that are very like,
agree.
I love when they're telling the proposal story, and it's clear they're both telling very different types of proposal stories.
Why don't you tell
And they
it?
just
You know it
keep
better.
going back and forth.
Right.
And then I opened up, and inside was a big, fat, and he's like, nothing. There was nothing. There was a note. There was like, it was cute.
I dropped my coaster. Sorry, I'm back. All right, tomatometer time. Roddy T's the Rotten Tomatoes scores. We're going to guess what do we think the critics and audience gave it out of 100%. Randy,
6173.
Oh, you're
6173.
doing both right out the gate.
Yeah, why not? All right, Tara. What do you... Critics first, audience second. Second. She's
What are you
thinking.
doing over there?
She's
Bouncing.
she's locking and popping.
Bouncing that, bouncing that,
I'm
bouncing.
going to say critics 53, audience 67.
Okay. I guessed critics 55,
Oh,
audience 70. I feel like
Steve, we're like today. We're
yeah,
like, we're right
it's
here.
close. It's close. Well, I mean, you got to think, right? Like, this isn't a bad movie.
No, it's
Most people
not.
should like this movie.
But it's also just a rom-com.
It also made $314 million. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people should like it. So, critics, 45.
What?
Mm,
Wrong.
Audience, 68.
I said 67. It's not bad. I would never have guessed 40s on either side.
45 to me, anything under 50, you're like, really? Especially a movie that you enjoy, even
And
though I
a
enjoy a lot
movie
of
that
shit
was
movies.
globally successful. Like,
Right. Fuck you. Like, you know, what's that one movie we did where it was like a fucking 15% but made no sense?
oh, I feel like that was recently.
Yeah.
It was. I wrote it down, probably.
Probably.
I don't
Anyway,
remember because but I do remember us being like,
What?
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 I watched that movie Pearl last night.
It's okay.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
That movie's got like 90 something percent.
Beer Fest?
Here's the thing.
Maybe.
Here's the thing when it comes to horror movies that are like that. They're going to be widely praised for being different, which it is. Mia Goth in that movie acts her fucking ass off.
Oh, she was the best part. I mean, she's the best part of the movie.
The ending of that movie.
She carries that movie.
Right. The ending, that scene where she's doing that monologue, which is one fucking cut
all
at the
by
table.
herself. Yeah.
Amazing. The ending where she's staring into the camera,
Smiling and like.
smiling and crying and breaking. Amazing.
So I sat there watching that because I watched the whole credits because I wanted to know how long they kept that up there.
Fucking
And
4.5 minutes.
It was way too long, and she did not blink a lot. And I think that's how she kept herself teary eyed.
Oh, yeah,
is she would
100%.
hold the stare as long as she could, so that her eyes would get just red enough or just teary enough, and then she would do like a little bit of a blink, and then like keep staring. But the fact that it would be a smile, and then all of a sudden it would be like,
Oh, my God. Yeah.
and then back to a smile and
Yeah.
stuff.
I will say this, though. Was that a good movie?
I don't know that I would call it a good movie. I think it was fucking like wild.
I liked it. I would never watch it again.
It was very bizarre.
Did I
think
like-
everyone should watch it.
Yes.
Like I would tell someone to watch it.
if you like horror thrillers.
Because
let's
I don't
say,
even know that I would call it a horror, to be honest. Like I don't know that
It
it's
has
as
to be-
far as to be a horror.
It has to be categorized as a horror movie first. It has to be, right?
Because to me, like just because there's killing in something doesn't make it a horror.
But it's suspenseful.
sure, that I
So
would
suspense
give you.
thriller?
I would give you that. I would give you suspense thriller more than I would give you horror. Horror to me, like you've got to have like
Jump scares or
yes,
scary moments.
It needs to
yeah.
be scary. This movie is not scary. It's just
I mean,
fucking creepy.
it might be scary to some people.
Losers.
I think the movie that came before it, X, is better, right?
See, I haven't watched that one yet, but I do want to.
Well, see, here's the thing.
I know.
Watching Pearl doesn't make much sense if you don't watch
But I
X.
did, but that it was up there, and it was only $5, so I watched it.
Well, you know, if you're on Plex, my Plex, you have all these movies. on there.
But
Just throwing another Plex fucking plug.
Barbarian came up again last night when I was
Mm-hmm.
looking for something to watch, and I think of you every time it comes up because I was like, he told me
That's a horror movie.
that I need to watch that alone, which to me tells me I will never watch this movie while I'm
Well, I
at
mean,
home
watch it with
alone.
Carrick, then. Your boyfriend Carrick.
But that was another one. It's like 90 something percent or 80 something percent.
Barbarian is leagues above. Randy's not going to agree. Pearl.
I've never seen Pearl, so.
Yeah, but it sounds like you didn't like
can't.
Barbarian.
He didn't like Barbarian. I liked it because number one, it's a little different than what you think it's going to be. It's not. I mean, obviously with a
little?
name. Hold on. Obviously, we can't give away anything though, right? Obviously, with a name called Barbarian, you're expecting something.
Sure.
The first 30 minutes of that movie, you're going, "What? Barbarian?" And then
Kind of jumps ship.
I don't want to say it jumps, but it changes
It shifts
again, and then it changes again.
again.
And then one of my favorite fucking actors of all time with a beauty mustache,
Go long.
good old Justin Long, comes in and he kills it. But the movie changes again once he shows up. It's not like it changes for the better, it changes for the worse. It's like it just beats
changes.
and it changes. Watch it. It's not a movie where you're alone that you're gonna be like, oh my fucking God.
So I really I want to watch
It's gonna-
Alice Darling this weekend.
Okay.
That's my goal. That's my next new movie that I'm going to watch because that just came out.
Mhm.
And I think it's going to be a little triggering
It's gonna be a
to watch it
long
if you've
while.
ever been in a like
Abusive.
narcissistically level abusive type of relationship. But I want to see her do it. You know what I mean? I want to see.
That's what's up.
No, I want to
do it.
see her play that role because I feel like it's different for her.
Sure.
But in all of her interviews and her press that she's doing, she was in that. her 6-year relationship that she had, she said all of a sudden it was like a switch at some point, and he was that person. So, and she has said that there were multiple scenes where like
CTE
they would
to you.
give her
Right.
time.
Oh, that's
Like they could tell while she was filming that it was like, okay, just let her like get it out. Like let her like bring it back in.
Breathe.
But I do want to watch that. I did see that it's only like 60-something%, which isn't bad, but like I wanted to see Babylon too with Margot Robbie and stuff.
3 hours long.
It is, and it's only 50-something%.
I heard it was
Margot
worth
Robbie.
watching.
I know. I saw a clip of her like throwing a fit in the middle of a party in the movie, and she was awesome. So I was like, I feel like that's worth it watching it right there, because she's good. A lot of people did not like her Harley Quinn, but I thought she was a great Harley Quinn.
Any movie that she was Harley Quinn in, she was the best part of the movie. I'm sorry, but the newest Suicide Squad movie by James Gunn, I just didn't
it wasn't
like it.
great. Like I've watched it more than once because I wanted to like,
Right.
but it
Something's
wasn't great.
missing.
Birds
Will
of
Smith.
Prey.
I kind of agree with that.
Birds of Prey.
It was okay.
Wasn't great.
It was okay.
Though.
She was good in it as the character, but it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Even having Ewan McGregor in there, he's chewing scenery, but it's just not good.
Did you see they released a?
Yeah, Joker. Yep.
Yep.
I hope
him
she's
and Gaga.
not. I hope she is not Harley Quinn. They're giving her a different name, and they are saying that he's not the Joker.
I thought she was supposed to be Harley Quinn.
See, I don't think so.
Who would he be if not the Joker?
Well, this is
His
a
face is the Joker in the picture. It's painted.
So the Joker in the mythos of Batman is anybody. It can be anybody. It doesn't matter who he is. That's the whole purpose of it, right? Yeah, he's Jack Napier. Maybe he's somebody else. If you've watched, the actual 1980s movie.
I have
What, with Jack Nicholson?
not recently.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying. Like
What I'm saying is the Joker isn't supposed to be actually anybody, right? He's just to go up against Batman. He's his mirror, basically, right? So what I his mirror,
Batman's mirror.
right? Like Batman's all good and justified, and the Joker is bad and
Cray.
just evil for no reason. His mirror.
Okay.
Sure.
So did you like the
The Joker?
Joker? The
I did. But what I'm
Joaquin
getting
Phoenix?
Yeah, what I'm getting to is I've read a couple things even from the director saying that this isn't the Joker. This is a biopic of someone going crazy that maybe the Joker saw and took his MO, right? Like this is just somebody being somebody and doing crazy shit, and okay, he was a clown and all this or whatever, but the Joker saw it and went, I'm going to take that.
That movie was wild.
Yeah.
When they're all rioting and stuff, I was like, how did we get here?
Because it was amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, the end, spoilers for a 4-year-old movie where he just shoots fucking Robert De Niro in the face. I did not see coming. And I was like, they got the balls
and
to do
it was
this.
when he's like thinking of
Right.
when he has that not dream, but you know what I mean? He's like picturing himself
Hallucinating,
there.
yeah. Mhm.
And then for it to then it really happens when he's there.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
it's
And it was shot beautifully,
Yeah.
well done, good movie. You've never seen it.
it was
so it's
definitely
fine.
like it wasn't one of my favorite movies,
But it was good.
but it was good. Like I will give credit where it's due.
Give
It's not
credit.
something I would go and like put on.
It's a 1 or 2 and done.
Yeah.
Right?
It's also I think too intense to keep watching. Like
yeah, for
a
sure.
lot.
For sure.
But I did see them release that picture, and I think Gaga's been doing well acting wise. So I'm interested to see what she.
Oh, I'll watch
is.
anything or do anything with the Gaga, the lady.
I love the Gaga.
The Lady of the Gaga.
Not gonna throw this out there, but I'm gonna throw this out there. The new band that I'm in, we play 3 Lady Gaga songs, and I fucking eat it up.
I love the Lady
I'm not
Gaga.
gonna lie. I fucking get
That's
it
why
every
we
time.
added Bad Romance that one time, and I feel like the crowd around here doesn't accept like I want them to.
They're losers. They should.
Because I eat Bad Romance. Like
I eat it. No.
What 3 do
Speaking-
you do?
We do
Poker
Bad
Face.
Romance, Just Dance, and Poker Face.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
you know what I wish I could.
Just
I wish that I could do the ones like Edge of Glory or like You and I and stuff like that, because those are great songs, but they weren't like, you're not going to see cover bands do them. And I don't know why that is, because they're really good songs, but maybe they weren't mainstream enough. I feel like they were.
I
but
feel like it's okay. We're doing a Lady Gaga song. Well, what? It has to be Bad Romance. Okay. What after that? it has to be Poker Face. All right, whatever. Well, it has to be Just Dance.
We did a paparazzi in Jukebox Thieves,
or that,
but
yeah.
we like heavied it up. Like we made it like a heavy rock song.
I got you.
And it was really cool, like double bass drum and all that. Like it was.
What do you think I'm doing? I mean,
But it was one of my favorite ones we did because it still was Gaga, but we made it like
Don't do that. Calm
ballsy.
down.
You know what I mean?
you want to come out and see on Friday?
I'm going with you.
All right, yeah,
So-
you're going to see it. I put a wall.
I also want to meet the new
crew.
guys.
Yeah, you'll like them. They're cool.
And gal.
They're pretty cool. Shout out to
You're
the
gonna
new
pee
band
on
that
your
I'm in
property.
called Into Deep, Baltimore based, which is weird. Every time they play, it's like, hey, we're Into Deep. We're from Baltimore. I'm like, I'm not. It's funny. I drive a long time. Anyways, who was your favorite character in The Proposal, Randy?
No.
I feel like this is
You
gonna
know-
be your only Ryan movie where you're not going to pick Ryan.
I'm not picking Ryan for sure.
Oh, well, okay.
I love Ryan, but
I love him. I got the blanket.
like we said earlier, he's not the
he's not the draw.
he's not the guy.
Yeah. Not
He's
the guy.
he's not the guy for the movie. You know what I mean?
He's not.
He
He is the guy,
but not in. Yeah.
Who was the guy that was in the tower? The
Oh my!
like his
Do
friend?
not say
Yes.
that that was your favorite character.
he was
please.
fucking.
Oh, hey, man, what's up?
sending it.
He's in like
When
two
they were like,
scenes in the movie.
Kiss her, kiss her. I was like, what? That's also my what the fuck moment. We're gonna get that out there
Okay,
too.
yeah, all
'cause
right,
what
all
the fuck? It was funny. I liked him.
Um,
Is he in other movies?
I've never seen this guy before in my life.
I think I have, but like same
doing
type,
good.
like
He's
role-
there
like
for
things
his
like
second.
that.
Yeah.
I think I would probably say Sandy.
Good old Sandy.
But I do love all those like small parts of Ryan's. Like I said, while she's talking and he's doing those little things, like though in movies, those are usually some of my favorite parts. Is
Right.
things that you may not notice right away, and then you watch it a second time and you're just like, oh my god, their timing,
summer.
like it's very. But Betty White's probably a close second.
Well, that's my favorite character.
Betty White's a
Is
close
Bet-
second.
Betty
I
White.
love the scene in the woods where they're doing the chanting, and she does the bit like for some reason.
window.
Yeah,
To the
why
window.
is that what comes
To
to
the
her
wall.
head? Like,
To the wall.
To the sweat drop down.
oh, you bitches,
And even Ryan comes up like, "Oh, what are we doing here? Talking about
stop.
balls?" Like,
wiggle it.
Stop.
no, like I said, my favorite character is definitely Betty White. Come on,
Let me see you get low. You stay.
God damn it. Favorite part or scene?
Probably that one.
Probably that one.
Oh, I was gonna
That's
say.
a
So
good
my
fucking scene.
my favorite is definitely on the plane where she has a heart attack. Betty White,
Ah, I guess
Oh,
I'm
and
not
then
ready to
she's
go.
like, yeah.
right? She puts it on. You're like, "Oh man, is
You
she really
boys
dead?
need to stop fighting, and they're like, "Are you serious?"
Guess the
Gam
spirits
Gam?
aren't ready to take me."
Scared the
Was it
shit
Gam
out of
Gam
me.
or Gammy?
Gammy or
Gammy.
something like that. Yeah.
Is it Gammy? There's something else that I've seen that where they call it Gam Gam, so I think that's what I'm getting.
I just
from.
love it because I can see my grandmother doing the same thing.
pulling some shit like that.
Right, exactly. Like, are you good? Cool.
Also,
I'm,
R.I.P. Betty. You know what I mean?
R.I.P.
Like,
made it to 99, right? And then out. Couldn't have hit 100. She knew when to leave right at the end of 2022.
she was like, "I'm not doing triple digits.
fuck
Get the
this
fuck out of
shit,
here."
dude.
I'm gone. Any what the fuck moments? Obviously, you just said yours. So that's
kiss her. Give her a real kiss. Like that's
who's doing that?
why are they all
Who's-
staring
Sit
at?
down.
Right.
Stop
Yeah.
staring
Who's
at
going?
us.
Give her some tongue. Like,
Good.
I think most of my what the fuck moments are with Raul. I think he is so unbelievably like creepy.
so it's funny because
Like-
my what the fuck moment was literally, why is this dude having every job in Alaska?
Is he? Well, he does everything, but then like
He
when
was a
when they go
servant?
to when they go to
That's-
pick up the phone
Not the word.
He's
and he
working there.
like and
Servant.
he like
Butler?
touches her head as
Yeah.
she's walking away, and she's like, "No, no."
He's a stripper.
Stripper, and he's also an officiant.
Yeah. He's doing
We
everything.
worked at
Yeah.
that little store. What was that store? Just like a general store.
I
type
guess,
of-
yeah. The
But I also-
Apothecary.
Back to like some of my
Apothecary?
favorite
Apothecary, the
My
Rose
favorite-
Apothecary.
scene
Wasn't
Oh
there?
my God, David.
to add on
Oh,
that.
David.
Oh, I almost brought that up earlier in this episode
go.
because that's another one of those shows where when I watch it too long, I start to talk like them.
Oh, that makes sense.
And it's not an accent, but it's the like,
That was pretty spot on. I'm
oh
not
my
gonna lie.
god, David,
Yeah,
I
that's
do
pretty-
the same thing.
eat glass. Like
Every GIF I use is
Really?
David.
Yeah, because it's
I
perfect.
fucking
Every single
he
one.
is my spirit animal. I fucking love
I
him.
don't want to say the same thing, but
But like he's
dude. He's
just
eh.
he had so many good one-liners and stuff too. Yeah, yes, the
Mm-hmm.
like,
I really hate that.
entirely unhelpful, but Thank you.
As much as I like David, I really like the sister better.
I
Not
go
as a
back,
character,
I think
but
they
just-
have
Yeah,
like it's like specific episodes.
sure.
Like sometimes she carries.
You're doing
it,
the
sometimes
same
he
thing
carries
she's
it.
doing right now, by the way, all the
This.
time. Like, oh my God, she says. Ew, David. Ew.
But I love how their relationship grows through the
Well, that's the
like
whole
because
point
you
of
could
the
tell
show,
they
yeah.
weren't the family at all wasn't close, and then by the end they're like sad to be
So
separating.
bringing back Canada to this, okay? This is what I love about Canadian television. Every show that I've watched from Canada has an overarching story of like an actual meaning or, you know, teaching someone something. Like, obviously, you can talk about Degrassi all you want. Every episode is literally for kids to say, hey, don't do this, right?
It's just so stupid. Though.
Is it?
I feel like it is.
I fucking love Degrassi.
I used to
Whatever
watch
it
Degrassi
takes.
like when it would come on like at nighttime or whatever when I was in middle school, whatever
Oh.
the fuck age I was in.
Look,
But
story real quick.
like
before you go-
old
okay.
Degrassi, obviously, like
next
wheelchair
generation,
Jimmy, like
yeah.
wheelchair Jimmy days, like
Oh, yeah, Drake on a wheelchair.
original
Getting shit.
Degrassi.
Right.
But you go back and watch it now, and I'm like, oh wow.
I mean, it's made for
Like-
the era, obviously.
But it was also the acting and stuff.
It's
just
fucking 10-year-old kids.
bad.
One
They're
of
not-
those
they're in
kids-
high school.
One of those kids lived 4 houses down from me when I grew up in Canada.
One of those kids.
You know, Jimmy's girlfriend. What the fuck's her name when she turns like
The dark-haired girl.
Yeah.
Ashley,
yeah. Her name is Melissa McIntyre. She grew up 4 houses down from me.
Yeah,
Where
was
I
that
lived
your
in Canada.
ex-girlfriend?
No,
Did you kiss
my
her?
mom used to
Did you
babysit
kiss
them
her?
though, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Bringing it back to my mom because she said she loves the proposal. So you know.
I saw that. I do too.
Yeah. Anyways, what I was saying is every like Canadian television show, while it has to be 10% Canadian,
Still has
also
that
has to have
overarching
a story, right? So
meaning.
you look at, you know, Schitt's Creek, the overarching story is togetherness and family is important where you know, they were rich and famous, but family didn't matter. Now they don't have any money and they realize, well, what is being rich and famous is, or sorry, being rich is, you know, your family, right? So like a lot of stories are like that in Canadian television shows where you have it here. It's like, what's the point of the story, you know? So what are kids watching nowadays that gives them that sense of, does this matter? You know, I always bring it back to
Bluey.
Home Improvement. Bluey or fucking whatever. Anyways, Home Improvement, where every
They got some good points
episode,
in that fucking show. I tell you what.
sure, every episode had a meaning or a lesson, right? What do you have today that has that?
Schitt's Creek.
Well, that was like 10 years ago.
No,
It was not 10.
Was not.
The
It ended.
The
Yeah.
sixth season was just like 2 years
Yeah.
ago.
It was before COVID.
The sixth,
The
no,
last
they
season?
were
No.
getting their awards with masks on.
Yeah, getting their awards. I thought
was
it
that?
ended in
That
like
was the last
2016.
The season
No,
came
no,
out in
no.
like 2020, like the
Yeah.
last season.
Maybe it started in 2016. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
It
You
might
get
have.
you get the point.
It
that
was
I'm saying,
6
yeah.
seasons. I also love that like they didn't get their big popularity until they were already in like the 4th, 5th season.
I agree. Well,
And
so
and
that's
people
because
were
it
like,
was
oh
on.
my god, you're ending, and people hounded them and hounded them and hounded them to keep going, and I actually really respected that they stood their ground because they were like, we already made a decision on how everything was going to end.
Right, and
We're not going to unravel it now. Like we want it to end how we
right,
decided.
right. And that
Like,
was again because it was on CBC in Canada, which
wasn't
is
here. Yeah.
It wasn't here. CBC is like ABC, but in Canada. But they have ABC as
Canadian
well.
Broadcasting Station. Yeah.
Corporation.
Corporation.
CBC.
CBC.
Look at
Oh,
you.
why-
Anyways, so again, yeah, once it got popular on Netflix, obviously people were like, oh shit, keep going. But yo, we're already done. Like, sorry.
That's been added to one of my rewatch lists. Like when I've finished like a new show or a new season that came out or something or
back
whatever,
and watch shit.
and I just put something on in the background. The top 3 that I do that with are Friends, New Girl, and Schitt's Creek. Like those are the 3 that I'll just put on in the background.
That makes sense.
I actually haven't put Friends on in a long time.
You know what? Keep it that way so that when you go back and watch it,
It'll feel.
you'll feel better.
I'm actually rewatching Supernatural right now.
Oh, there you go. Look at you.
That's what's
I
up.
mean,
That's what's up.
Jensen Ackles.
That's what's up.
I have his baby.
Hey, so I'm going to try something here. You're not
I
going
will
to
too.
hear this, but
Okay.
people are going to see this.
You don't
So fun facts of the fucking week. Something like that. So that's what it looks like to people when they actually watch it.
Oh, okay.
I've been doing that for weeks, but
We
we
just
haven't-
didn't know.
Right, exactly. Anyways, Betty White almost turned down her role in the film because filming would require her to spend 10 weeks away from her golden retriever.
Oh,
I respect that.
fucking Betty.
I
God damn it,
absolutely
Betty White.
respect that.
Right? Like, come on. 10 weeks away? I can't. Can I bring
I
the
mean,
dog?
that's the only reason I'm not a famous musician. Is because like
I can't leave my dog.
I can't leave my dog.
Can they go on the road with me?
That's why.
That's funny. That's funny.
Like, come on. Because I can't. And like, I could tour with one of them. I can't tour with 3 Australian Shepherds.
It would have to be roadie, right?
There's no way. Because he's my roadie.
I'll do it for me.
But in all reality, it would be Cooper.
Sure. Julia Roberts was the first choice to play Margaret, but reportedly refused to take a pay cut, so Sandra Bullock took over the role. That was the second movie in the same year in which Roberts was offered a leading role and turned it down, with the role going to Sandra Bullock. The other movie was The Blind Side, in which Bullock won Best Actress at the
I
Oscars.
can't look.
She fucked up.
I love Julia Roberts, and after seeing her and Aaron Brockovich, I think she probably could have done Blindside justice, but I can't not see Sandy in it now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I like Julia for sure.
I love Julia and Sandy have always been 2 of my
Top tier.
top tiers.
Right.
Um,
Yep, tier
Well,
there,
clearly,
bud.
Julia has a fucking chip on her shoulder.
I bet you she just went whatever.
yeah, I bet she doesn't.
She's with her money. Oh my god!
Apparently, Julia Roberts and Jennifer Aniston have signed up to make a movie together, and it's some sort of swapping, like body swapping, like the change up with Jason Bateman and Ryan Reynolds.
See, that's a movie that I love Ryan Reynolds in because he's playing Ryan Reynolds
Oh,
before
he's like
he
asshole
switches.
Ryan
yeah.
Reynolds.
And
I love seeing Jason Bateman play that asshole though.
but
'cause
nobody talks about that movie anymore.
I haven't seen it.
Really?
Uh-uh.
And
You
you're a
should watch
Ryan
it.
Reynolds fan.
you should watch
You
it.
should watch it.
Because
yeah.
I love Jason Bateman also.
Right.
And it starts the movie off with Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds, but then Ryan Reynolds has to
But
play.
I could also see Jason Bateman doing it.
Oh, he does it
do-
great.
and he
He
does.
does
Well,
it
yeah.
great.
Have you
That'd be fucking
seen
great.
Dodgeball?
what's it called? Bad Words,
Bad
where he
Words,
does
yeah.
the spelling bee. That movie is epic. I fucking love that movie.
What? It's
You
funny.
haven't
Like
seen that one either. I think that's on my list.
Randy hasn't seen anything.
I'm pretty sure that's on my list. I love that movie.
I've discovered that I watch a lot more TV shows than I do movies.
Okay,
Which is
that's
fine.
Yeah, that's fine. You're
I've seen a lot of TV.
It's
you're in and
okay.
out quicker.
A lot of TV shows,
A lot.
and I can just keep going.
Right. Like, well, I mean, you can watch a movie.
I think
Yeah,
there
if they
are
were an hour
some.
and a
I
half,
do
2
think that
hours.
there are some movies that probably could have worked out as TV shows. Honestly, like
I agree. There's a lot of movies that I wish were like Netflix specials that they gave a lot of money to. They gave more money to make the TV show than the fucking movie. But we're here in today's fucking time.
I also think though that there are some TV shows that could have just been a movie and been done with it. But-
Supernatural.
that too. Yeah.
no, we need all those
No,
seasons.
it could have been a movie.
But I do think if they had stopped at the 5th season or 6th
It
season,
would've been
it
fine.
would have been fine.
I got it's tattooed on me. I love the show,
Yeah.
but it could
The 5th season
could
is
have been shorter.
hands down the best season of that show.
I'm gonna say something. I've never seen an episode of Supernatural.
But are you into that kind of like? Is that
I like Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
give it a watch?
Give it a whirl.
Give
Give it a whirl.
Give it a whirl.
Give it a whirl.
I can tell you like the
I can
5th
tell you the first
season.
3 episodes right now.
What do you mean? Like you can
I know
tell
them.
me?
I know them by heart.
Oh,
Yeah, well, the first one is the
don't tell me.
ghost with the white
Don't
dress.
fucking tell me.
It doesn't. You
It
know right
matter.
away. Like you know what the episode's
Well,
about.
whatever.
in the
Don't
beginning.
stop spoiling.
Yeah.
Stop spoiling. Sandy Bullock plays a Canadian who wants to marry her assistant Ryan Reynolds in order to keep her visa status in the United States and avoid deportation to Canada. In real life, Reynolds is from Canada and Bullock is from the U.S.
So is Reynolds a dual citizenship?
I'm assuming he is at this point, right?
Because he
would have
lives here.
right, but
don't
he would
they?
have reason or was an adult, right, when he
Mhm.
lived in Canada
Mhm.
because he's from Vancouver.
Sure.
So I'm assuming
Yeah.
maybe who knows, right? It's all how
I
you
wonder
want
if
to
Blake
do
has
whatever.
a dual citizenship.
Probably not. What does she need it for?
I don't know. I don't
You
know how
don't-
long. I don't know how often they go to Canada.
Yeah, but
he has
even-
family
Yeah, she
there,
just
doesn't
visit.
he?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Even if he has a house there and they're only residing there 3 months out of the year, she doesn't need citizenship.
I guess.
There's a lot of people who, where I grew up from, which is right over the border from Buffalo, who have a summer house in Canada that they use, even being American, and they go over and they
What is summer
Chill there.
like over there?
well, in that area, it's fine. It's not as humid as it is here, but it's still as hot. So it still gets in the 90s.
I would like that. I would prefer that. Like I
and-
like in Denver or like in Arizona or whatever. Like it's hot,
but not
but you're
dying.
not
Right.
like you can breathe.
The best part too is it's right on the Great Lakes, right? So Lake Erie.
Oh.
So you get that lake effect wind, and dude, it's
I
amazing.
love lakes.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. You get wind all the time, but it's not like you're blowing over wind. It's like, oh, this feels great.
I would live on a lake.
Oh yeah.
Like I would live on a lake before I would live at like the beach or something.
Mhm.
I would love to live on like a Smith Mountain Lake type
Yeah.
of. I love Smith Mountain Lake.
Smith Mountain.
And when you go like end of summer, like the kids are already back in school, like the last week of August or
So
something,
much better.
the water is like fucking glass when you go out on the boat and stuff. It's
It's amazing.
Mhm.
So I want to bring up
oh my god, it's so good.
one thing from that fun fact.
Yeah.
You cannot, in America,
Mhm.
become an American citizen if you're from another country by just marrying somebody. It does not work that way. You have to have a reason to be in this country. Now, if you get married to
How
someone,
come they use that in so many things?
because
then?
it's an easy cop out for a story,
Like
right?
even in How I Met Your Mother, they were like, "Well, you could get married." Oh, but they wouldn't have time to process the paperwork.
Right. So the way it works is you still have to have a reason. Now, obviously, my parents, when they moved here, being married and Canadian, she was a dependent of my father who had a job here. So that makes sense.
She was
right?
already an attached. She wasn't here and married him. She came from there with him.
Correct.
Right.
So if I was trying to stay in this country and was denied my visa like she was, I could not just marry my wife to stay in America. I have no reason to be here, right? Now, if my job
Your wife
goes-
doesn't count as a reason.
No.
Why?
Because why should it? There's no reason keeping me in this country.
But I'm saying if you get married and your wife is an American citizen, obviously she is a reason to
How
live
is that
here.
affecting the United States? In the United States' eyes, you need a reason to stay to them in the country, right?
Which I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is once you're attached to an American citizen,
She can move with them.
what are they going to do? So they're going to ship an American citizen out of the country? No,
she's
they're not
not.
going to do that.
No. Your wife needs to go, you could say.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm
You
saying
can't, no. You can't marry
that
someone.
seems dumb to then ship someone who's married to an American citizen out of the country.
Right. Good luck. So what I'm saying is I
That's
would
what I
need
said.
a reason to be here, i.e., if I had a job, my job could sponsor me to say, he's here to have this job, he can become an American citizen.
But being an attachment of an American doesn't count.
It's wild to think about
Yeah, it is.
because it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
But I even asked, I remember when I was doing the questions, I was like, so if I was marrying somebody, how does that work? Because it's always, in whatever. Like we get a lot of people who just try to get married to become an American citizen and then get divorced. Because of that, that doesn't happen.
If you're already married.
I was at the
At the point,
time.
yeah.
Right. But again, I didn't have a reason, the reason I was here was I was on a green card. right?
And that's why we brought it up because he did get married, but it didn't change his citizenship.
Exactly. It didn't go, oh, you're married? Cool. You, if you want to be an American citizen, you can. No, it wasn't. It was literally, okay, my visa is up. My green card is up. I need to either reapply to stay here or try to become an American citizen.
So they could have
Denied me.
kicked you out
Mhm.
while like wife stay behind, like
Correct.
kids stay behind,
Correct.
whatever. They could have just kicked you out.
And that was the big deal of why we were deciding to become American citizens. Because if we continued on the path we were going, and again, in
you
the
didn't want that to ever be
possible,
possible,
right? Because
A scenario that you
because
had to
again,
deal with.
Trump was changing laws at that point, and that was fuck. We need to figure this out, or I could be kicked out of the country. So it was all right. Let's become an American citizen now if we can. Tara's out. We can fill it up with some of this Tennessee apple right here, Tennessee. And so that was a determining factor too. And even my mom was like, "Well, shit,
terrible.
my dad can stay here because he has a job, but my mom might be kicked out. I might be kicked out. We need to do something." So we ended up. That was another
That's the
determining
reason you did
factor
it.
of okay, let's just become American citizens. Now, being married to someone definitely helps, right? But it's not the deciding factor of go.
It
You're-
wouldn't just solve the
Correct.
problem.
Correct.
Look, I love you, Jack Daniels, and I drink a lot of your stuff.
It's just trash.
This
dog.
ain't it.
This ain't it.
This ain't it.
The Tennessee apple.
And I drink
Not
a
it.
lot of other Apple stuff. So it's not the Apple. It's just,
It's the fizz.
The fees.
yeah,
It's
this,
the fizz.
this ain't it.
Don't do
I
the
don't know.
fizz.
Oof. Final decision time. The review. What are we giving the proposal?
8.
Out of 10. Tara's going with an 8 right away. Explain yourself.
I love it.
I love it.
It's not good enough to be a 9 or a 10, but I love it.
Randy,
It's
what
one
do
of
you
my
think?
favorite
Love it.
rom-coms. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite movies. It's definitely it's like a top tier rom-com to
I
me.
can't say that I've seen a lot of rom-coms.
You probably have.
Any movie?
Name me 3 more.
Rom-coms?
Yeah.
Sweet Home Alabama.
Nope.
That's a good one,
That's
too.
pretty- yeah, that's pretty
That's
good.
a good one.
What's the other one with
We've-
Ryan Reynolds in it? Definitely Maybe.
Definitely Maybe is
Nope.
a good one. That's a good one. You should watch that, too.
What's the one with Andrew?
Just Friends could be considered a rom-com.
Yes, yeah, I would agree with that.
There's one.
Rom-com is just a romantic comedy. So
Van
it's
Wilder is a
very
romantic
broad.
comedy.
Like, as long as there's comedy and they fall in love,
It's not a
No.
rom-com.
Yes, it is.
No.
It's a romantic comedy. He falls in love
he
with Tara
meets
Reid.
her. He meets her.
Called a rom-com.
He
But it
meets
is.
her, and they carry on
It's a
a
romantic
relationship, an on and off relationship through the whole
That's a good
movie.
one then. That's a good one.
Write that down.
But I'm saying it. You know,
From the movie Van Wilder when he says to everybody, write that down when he talks. Come on, bro. Fuck. What are you giving this out of
I'm
10?
giving it a good old 7.5.
7.5. Would you recommend it to anybody?
I
I
I
didn't even answer
Everybody.
that.
Yeah, you
but
didn't,
obviously,
so it's
yes.
fine.
Yes, I
And
would.
We all knew you would. I mean, this is the movie that brought me back to Sandy.
Anyone who
It brought me
hasn't
back.
seen this movie,
It brought me
like,
back
Brought me
to
back
Sandy.
to Sandy. Because, God.
I'm here for Sandy.
anyone who hasn't seen it,
And obviously, Ryan's in it.
Damn.
He's my
get
dude.
on it.
I was watching the movie. I had the blanket on me while I was watching it.
The Ryan Reynolds blanket.
The Ryan Reynolds
You
blanket.
should have took a nice
You
picture.
know, yeah.
Nice selfie with.
I don't know if I could. I don't
We
know
could
if I
have made it the
show
thumbnail
myself
of
cuddling
this.
that.
Why?
Because he's naked.
But I did make sure I could see his face the right way.
Right, of course. Yeah,
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 of
yeah,
course.
yeah. You're looking at the
No,
TV,
I'm
seeing
saying- you
him.
know
You're
what I'm
looking
saying.
down. He's
Yeah.
looking back up at you. It's all good.
What's up?
It's all gravy,
Yeah.
baby. I am gonna give this a 6 out of 10.
A 6?
Hear me out. The movie in itself is okay and has been done a lot, right? The whole premise
I
of
feel
it.
like the boss element, the have to get married element, like what other one?
Where somebody's saying, "Hey, we need to get together and stay together," but then they're not supposed to be together, but then they end up falling for each other. Come on,
Oh
that's
yeah,
been done.
sure. Those where like they fall for someone
lot.
they're not meant to fall for.
Right, that's what
yeah,
I'm saying.
but not his boss and not
The boss,
because they have
a
to
lot.
get married.
I think
like,
the being married to have citizenship is definitely somewhat original, right? I'll give it a point for that, but I take away a point for it being literally a lot of movies like this, the same
that's-
thing.
Yeah, I mean, I, get,
right?
I mean that's a rom com.
I love
on.
Sandy.
At the end of
What?
rom coms, that's what's gonna happen.
We can say
I want you to start at a 10. And I want you to tell me
Oh god.
the points
Break-
that brought you
take
down
it
to
away.
a fucking 6.
okay. Number one, right
First of
there. I
all,
just said it.
Like
Taking it down.
no movies start at a 10. I feel like.
I wanted to start there. You got to
Hold on.
start at a 10 and you bring yourself
Exactly.
down. You can't
I
start
do-
at a
Okay.
0.
All
I
right.
do the. I've heard some people do this. I'm not going to say my dad does this, but when they go to a fucking restaurant, they put a 20 down on the table. So that's your tip. Anytime you fuck up, I take $1 away from it.
I have heard
Yeah,
about
that-
people
that-
that do that.
Dave can't do that anymore.
I think
Right.
it's fucked
Don't.
up. But
What I'm saying is, so all right, we'll take that and we'll go with it. 10 out of 10. I take a point away because of what I just said. It's not original
you don't think it's
all the
original
way.
enough.
Okay.
Okay. I take a point away from Ryan Reynolds not being Ryan Reynolds throughout this movie.
Okay.
I want him to be a little more goofy. I want him to be a little more Ryan Reynoldsy. He's doing some stuff, but not enough for me to fully invest in his
But you
character.
also don't want any actors to be playing the same part every time.
But at this point,
That was my argument earlier, and you said what?
at this point in 2009, Ryan Reynolds is having a career resurgence. He was in a couple movies, he was in a couple things, and then he went away to do stuff like The Voices or all these other movies that he needed to do to get back into Hollywood, basically. This is one of those movies. So to me, he should be A+ Ryan Reynolds being Van Wilder, being Deadpool in this. Does it work in the story? Maybe not so much, but he could lean into it a couple, more scenes than he really does. So to me, I take a point away. That we're at an 8 right now.
Yep.
I love Sandy in this movie.
Keep counting, don't worry.
You're fine. I love Sandy in this movie, but for the most part, she's a little wooden for me. Like she's just a wooden. Like I get that.
That was her character.
I understand that's
She's
the
supposed
point.
to be stiff.
I understand that's the point, but it takes me out of the movie so much that I don't believe towards the end that I would even care about her.
That she played her character too well. You don't like it? Weird. That sounds fucking familiar.
No.
No.
I'm
no,
not-
No, no, no.
What was that from?
I'll be over here. When you get
Gravity. That's the reason I didn't
I
like
never.
that movie.
Well, I never said I like Gravity.
Well, I'm saying that's
But
the
he's
reason
saying
I
Okay,
we
didn't
okay,
gave
like it.
him
So
shit
you're-
because
That's fine. I mean, you can give me shit for this. That's
Yeah,
fine.
okay.
What I'm saying is, I just don't feel for her character because she hasn't done enough to win me over from the beginning of her character. Her being a stuck-up bitch and doing all this for years, and then all of a sudden, in a weekend, I'm supposed to go, all right, she's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, I get the whole, make things gonna go right. You know, that part, like, sure.
But then again, she had dates. She was having all the sex times. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time.
That's on her, though.
But she was just being a boss.
That's on
she
her.
He didn't see her outside of work
Oh, okay.
He didn't
We
see
didn't
her
either.
as
Margaret.
Okay, that's the movie's fault then. You want me to want to like this character, right? You need to convince me that she's not a bitch, that she is somewhat serviceable to be with Ryan, right? I hold Ryan up here just like you guys do. She's got to pass a few litmus tests to get there. I don't see it in this movie. Sure, the end scene
She
where
was
she's
scared.
okay, I get it. Show me a little more vulnerability, right? Like, I get it at the end where she does, call off the wedding and say, basically, I fucked up. I did this. I made him do this. I put, a finger down on him to say that if he doesn't do this, his career will be over. Sure, but that's not enough for me to whatever. And then she just leaves, and then she's packing all of her shit, and then he comes back like, all right, accept me back. Like, motherfucker, you need to do more. So that's another point. Another point for me to take off to get to 7.
No, to get to 6.
To get to 6, okay,
Yeah,
to get to 6, sure.
you need to.
The movie's a little too long, like we talked about. We could take some things out. It doesn't go enough places for me. It doesn't do enough different things either. Like, the movie is literally, hey, we're in the beginning at where they work. She's a bitch. Hey, we're getting married. Are we? I guess we are. Oh, hey, I live in Alaska. We're going to get married in Alaska this weekend because apparently that's what we're going to do. And then it stays there, and then the movie's over.
They didn't go there to get married.
Okay, whatever. They went there for a family, whatever, and then somebody
like
said,
a
let's get married.
Gammy.
No, I thought it was his mom.
Gammy.
No, I thought his mom said it first.
His mom.
You should get married
She
this
said
weekend.
it, but it was Gammy's idea.
Okay,
she
no.
wanted to give her birthday. They were supposed to be her 90th birthday, and she said, I'd rather do this instead.
No, the mom and dad talked. And they wanted it, but Gammy was also
Sure.
in it.
I will give it a point, half a point back for the relationship with him and his dad. I thought that was very real. I thought him not approving of what he was doing with his life and not accepting it and not being able
His
to get
dad
over
was a
himself.
dick. Let's talk about that for a second.
But very
he was
real.
So demeaning. Like when
Yeah.
they asked, like, what does a publisher do? And
Mhm.
he's like, I don't know, Margaret. What does a publisher like?
No, they
right.
said, what
That's
does a book
fucked up.
editor do?
Whatever.
And I was like,
Somebody died upstairs.
but then again, I thought about it. A book editor. What does a book editor do?
no.
Edit books.
I'm
Yeah.
not
Self-explanatory there, my
agreed.
guy.
But what I'm
That's
saying
not
is,
how you write that word.
he comes in just to embarrass him.
Well, but
and
he's
point
doing that
out
on
that
purpose,
Ryan's
right?
not a book editor.
Yeah.
Margaret is the book editor.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's real.
Not
You know
at
what I
the
mean? Like,
end.
his dad is pissed off that he did not stay at home and take over the family business that he built up for him to take over.
Businesses.
Sure, businesses, whatever, right?
There's a lot.
I get that that's a realistic thing, and he didn't want to
You
do
didn't
that,
tell me
but
about
his
all the
dad
family
didn't
businesses.
accept it, right? So
Just being humble.
I like that. That's real. So you know what? I'm gonna give this a 6.5, not a 6. How about
Mhm.
that?
Look, because of you
I like
having
to
him
use some
do
FC.
that, because of you having him
I'm gonna do it
work
every
his way
fucking
through
time,
it.
Well, I can't do that math.
What did
you
6.5,
give it a
8,
7?
7.5, 7. Praise.
7.5.
7. 7.
7.5.
You put 7.5. She put 8. I put 6.5. So fucking average would be like 7.
7.5 it is.
Sure.
Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna do the math. You do your thing. I'm gonna do the math though.
Next week, it's my pick.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go a little out of the left
So
field.
you're
with
not
this.
going to do.
I am not
you're
going to do what I
change
talked
it.
about.
You're not going to
I'm not going
change
to change it because
Okay.
this has been on my top movies I've wanted to do on this podcast for literally since the first 5 episodes.
Oh my God, how have you not?
Because it keeps eluding me. Like, we keep getting in different
keeps
places.
eluding.
Also, it's got to be the right people to sit down and talk about it because this movie
Oh,
is.
and you think we're the right people?
I think so. I think this movie is
It's gonna
thought-provoking,
be something stupid.
is fucked
Well,
up.
no, now I'm even more interested to see what it is.
It's a Disney
that
movie,
we're the right.
which makes it even more fucked up when I tell you what it is and what happens in this movie. We're going to do a movie called Blank Check.
Oh my God.
Think about it for a
I
second.
don't think I've seen it.
I know you haven't seen it, and that's why I want to
Why
do
do you
this.
know
haven't
I haven't seen it?
because you haven't seen
I'm a
anything.
fucker. All right, let me
Hold
look
on.
this up.
I'm going to tell you the
Also,
plot.
you were not of that age.
A
when that movie came
9-year-old
out.
boy gets a blank check for $1 million.
Oh, fuck. I'm cashing that bitch real quick.
That's
which
the
is
movie.
what he did.
But some
Good.
shit goes down in this movie that we
Well,
need to talk
obviously.
about. You'll see.
No, a lot of shit goes down in this movie that we
yeah,
need to talk
and
about.
it's Disney.
It's irresponsible.
Not a response.
It is. No, it is. It's
Talking about-
irresponsible.
Are we talking about the FBI agent?
It's the whole. A lot of stuff is.
You know what I'm talking
irresponsible.
about.
Yes, but a lot of stuff is irresponsible in the movie.
We're going to talk about. We're going to get deep in it next week. Trust me. This is going to be, I think, one of the best discussions we can
It's
have.
got to be on Disney Plus, right?
Oh yeah, it's on Disney Plus.
Thank God.
Blank
Disney Plus.
check.
Yeah. I bet you haven't thought about that movie in a long time.
No.
Trust me when I say.
Actually, yes, because we talked about it when we did one of those other Disney movies.
And
Whether it was
I probably brought it up.
Motocross or
Well, it's not a Disney Channel original movie.
no, I know, but
Yeah.
I'm saying I think we talked about it when we were talking about
Oh, okay.
that era of movies.
Gotcha. Well, fuck. Next week, Blank Check. It's gonna be amazing. Because Randy, you're gonna love this movie because you're gonna go. I wish I watched this when I was a kid.
Randy's gonna go.
I wish I found a
I
check
wish
for
I
$1
was that
million
kid. Yeah.
right now.
Well, because that's why they made the movie, because all the kids in the world are going, this guy's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna say that.
you're not.
No, some of the stuff he does, you're gonna be like,
Yeah,
dude.
Some of
Dude.
it, but as an adult, I also think you're looking at it differently and you're just like, oh my God, what? Like,
I could pay off so many bills
Why?
with that.
Well, I mean, he doesn't have
I'm
bills.
saying-
He's
I'm
a
saying
child.
as an adult, you're going
He's
to look
9
at it
years old.
differently. As an adult, you're going to look at it differently and be like, oh my God, with $1 million, why would you waste so much of it on this?
So I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna try and tally up everything he buys in that movie to see what it actually costs.
Now, then you have to
In
to
90s,
assume
in the
he-
90s,
you have
right.
to assume he buys everything outright.
Correct. Because the thing is, cover your ears. Do you think he
Take
bought the
them.
house outright? Or do you
That's
think
what
he
I'm
mortgaged
saying.
it?
That's what I'm
He bought a fucking
saying.
house.
But like, he can't. He's a minor, so like,
Macintosh.
No. Oh wait, yeah, you're right. There's that one kid. That
he's a
does-
child.
has
So
a lot of
like,
money,
But he isn't, right?
but he had his dad.
I don't know. We got to watch it.
He
If
had
so
his dad
facto,
dead.
we got to watch the movie.
Yeah.
Next week,
See, every
Blank
time you
Check.
say it, it sounds like if so.
It's my speech impediment.
Son of a bitch.
Ipso facto.
Ipso.
Ipso facto. See, I can't even say it right anymore. You're getting me. You're getting me.
ipso facto.
Anyways, find us on where, Randy?
Instagram. No, wait. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and anywhere you listen to your podcast. Or you can go to our website at www.thedecisionreel.com, which is also our tag for all our social medias.
Yeah, you can find it there.
And you can find some merch,
Some merch.
like some leggings,
Some merch there,
some
bud.
hats.
Fucking right
Good.
there, eh? You can
And
get
then-
some merch.
You know, use the code REAL10.
10. Real 10. REE.
REEL,
Yep, you got it.
For 10% off.
10% off your order. Maybe free shipping. I don't know what we do here. Maybe you're getting it from Canada.
don't
Hey,
know what we do
we're gonna
here.
fucking pack this shit up in the boxes there, eh? You know, fucking send it to you. It's
You
all
get a
good.
pack of donuts.
Give you a double.
Talking about.
Oh, tugging. I don't know. Send it. Anyways, thanks for listening. Next week, Blank Check. It's gonna be good.
Goodbye.
It's gonna be good.
Bye.